Onya kaya tocha, well even Onye na ya nejuno ine chukwu kwa mawaja. You are whiter than snow. Oku kibesi. We stand where you stand. We say no secret trial. Onyinye chukwu ezosika osiki ohamadike. No secret trial. Prophet wisdom osiki ohamadike osiki jisike. Matus ejike kole osiki. One day pute bije sikwa no weli feneme o weli fenafio o weli fenako. Esi one name Victor Chimezie Okorochukwu Igbo Network Television London Osiki Chisike na hapu ginazu Umu Biafra nile Gedine nuwa Asiki Gabaniru No secret trial No secret trial No secret trial No secret trial. Hey! Tile. Watch me far away. See me far away. Onye na ya nejuno ine chukwu kwa mawaja. You are whiter than snow. Oku kibesi oku. We stand where you stand. We say no secret trial. Onyinye chukwu ezosika osiki ohamadike. No secret trial. Prophet wisdom osiki ohamadike osiki jisike. Matus ejike kole osiki. One day pute bije sikwa no weli feneme o weli fenafio o weli fenako. Esi one name Victor Chimezie Okorochukwu Igbo Network Television London Osiki Chisike na hapu ginazu Umu Biafra nile Gedine nuwa Asiki Gabaniru No secret trial No secret trial No secret trial No secret trial. Hey! Tile. Watch me far away. See me far away. Tell me what you saw. I will show you what I have. Because I have myself, oh, then things say na defense, oh. Make you watch my back. Now wait till you they see, yeah. Unless you have the sense, oh, you go learn to pretend, oh. Do not run away. Find us over you. That is why I say, that is why I say, that is why I thought, that is why I say, that is why I say, that is why I know. That is why I say, that is why I say, that is why I thought, that is why I say.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, great Biafrans and lovers of freedom. This is Radio Biafra House of Service coming to you through Radio Biafra London. My name remains Mazi Chinedu from Alo province of Biafra land, and we are here live and direct. Today is the 17th day of November 2025. Father Bobo Cheke, therefore, I welcome each and every one of you to welcome your friends and well wishers to this hallowed platform where the gospel of both mental and physical emancipation is being preached. Therefore, we must continue in doing the needful. Biafrans and lovers of freedom, the fight for freedom, for liberation, is not easy. Is a very tedious journey. Many things will be thrown at us because they know that once we have our freedom, once we are liberated, it is irrevocable. That is it. That is why you see transatlantic slavery took more than 400 years in order to come to an end. Because the slave master will never give freedom to the slave. It is up to the slaves in order to fight to be free. That is why it is a very risky and tedious journey. It is not something easy. That is why you should never back down. Because if you back down, it is better for you not to have started than starting and stopping on the roadside. Remember, in 1967 to 1970, our fathers, our uncles fought a very bitter, brave war of genocide committed against us. But they stopped with confidence, trust they have on Nigeria. That is why they stopped wholeheartedly, without any reserve. They stopped. And that is a most fatal mistake. I call it the most fatal mistake that our fathers ever made. Yes, they fought bravely. They resisted almost the whole world, the Arab world. They resisted, but they should have continued in one way or the other. They should have had the reserve. I'm telling you, because this is what we are suffering today. First of all, after the war, they balkanized our land. They divided our land. They divided our people. They divided the Igbo people. Carved some of our land to Benue, to Kogi, and smartly made sure to install or instigate self-denial, identity crisis in our land, so that whenever you talk about Igbo land, people say, hey, you're five states, southeastern states. It annoys me, I'm telling you. Even when our people are repeating this, they smartly carved out to make sure, oh, landlocked. Joe, what of Igwocha Igbo land? Down to the sea, Bonnie, yeah, Igbo people. But they smartly, that is what you suffer when you are defeated. When you don't have no reserve, you trust your enemy with your life. He deals with you as he wants. They smartly disintegrated us so that that was the first thing. So that we will no longer have the capacity of rising up. That is what they did to us. So that we continue fighting with ourselves that, oh, you are Igbo, you are not Igbo, I'm not Igbo, I'm Bendel, I'm Rivers, I am Bayasan, I am not Igbo. You Igbo people go. They instigated all these things purposely so that as we continue having identity crisis, quarreling with ourselves, we will no longer be able in order to face our common enemy. Now our common enemy will come now to become referees in our land. No, no, no. You are hinterland. No, you don't have anything to do with Ikwere. Ikwere are different people. You know, yes, Mwike say he's not Igbo. He's from Benin. So these are things they want. They want us to continue, so that we no longer have no single face, no common face to face our enemy. It's a tactics. After the Second World War, when Berlin was overtaken, remember, Soviet Union was the first country to reach Berlin before the other Allied forces, America and France and others came, Britain came. Remember, yes, they were allies to conquer, to defeat Germany, but they still have their interests. They divided Germany into pieces. Some part was for Soviet Union. You've heard about the wall, the Berlin Wall. You've heard about it, which was built to separate East and West Germany. Remember, even in the West Germany, they have some sites occupied by France, some Canada. They divided from Britain and America. So they divided them because that's it. And they considered splintering or annexing Germans, destroying Germany completely, so that there will be no person will be called a German any longer. This was on the table for the Allied forces, for the people, Soviet Union and America and their allies. They considered it to annex Germany, to Poland, Yugoslavia, Soviet Union. They divide it among themselves so that they destroy Germany as a country, even as a language. No more German. But they considered something. You know, these people, they are wise. You call them Illuminati, illuminated souls. That is why you don't demonize Illuminati, please. I continue saying it. These are wise people. Why do you demonize Illuminati? But you, in your religion also, you praise the wise men, the three wise men. We must continue, please. Sorry for the perturbation. I don't know. My voice just ceased, or I don't know what happened. But we must continue. So, as I was saying, please, you know, I was talking about Germany. I was talking about Germany. And after the First World War, as I was saying, the Allied forces, including Soviet Union, they considered splitting Russia, splitting Germany, even to the extent of destruction of Germany, annexing Germany to other countries, neighboring countries, and destruction to destroy German language so that there will no longer be German citizen. If the side that is annexed to Poland, they will become Polish. They will be speaking Polish. They will be banned from speaking their language. The side that is annexed to maybe Soviet Union will become Russians, and they will be banned from speaking Germany or German, Dutch. The side annexed to America will be banned from speaking German. They become Americans, just like that. Because when I say annexing or annihilation of a country, it does not really mean that the country, everybody will be killed. No. That is what some of us don't understand. This is the policy they had for us Biafrans after 1970. Annexation of our land, our people, destruction of Igbo language, destruction of our languages, annexation of our land, turning our land into a place only meant for, or drilling of natural resources, only, not for development. It's a policy meant for us. Imeri Madonaya, Juku warned our people when they were agitating, declare Biafra, 1967. Juku warned because he was a soldier. He said, hey, what you people are agitating for, it's not easy. If you go to war, if you declare Biafra, surely there must be war, because they will come. Gowon will come. Nigeria will come. They will fight us. You will not declare Biafra and they say, okay, bye-bye. No. And you'll be ready to fight to the finish. Otherwise, if you are defeated, you become their slaves. And slaves, the life of slavery is not a palatable life. It's not a good life. The life of a slave is not a good life. You want them. Our people, they don't understand sentiment. They say, no, because Ojukwu wanted to use diplomacy notwithstanding our loss, notwithstanding the pogrom they inflicted on our people in 1966. Ojukwu he didn't want to opt out of Nigeria. I'm telling you, after all, Ojukwu that time was handy in order to stop. He was one of the people that stopped this guy's Zogo's coup, military coup. It's a historical fact with Agi Hiroshi, Igbo people. Had it been he didn't want one Nigeria, he wouldn't have even stopped that military coup. I'm telling you. So he understood what it means to be defeated in a war. Our people, no, declare, say, oh, no problem, no. After what happened, Okwa cannot the same place. We are still in the same thing. They fought gallantly for 3 years. Also, no reserve again, nothing again. And people run away. That is it. No reserve. Everybody, go and survive on your own. Okay, be no warrior say, okay, be low, okay, be low. On your own, I go with Borisho when you are human our people. They forgot. Declare Biafra, water. No. Now on your own, go and survive. I beg, go and survive on your own. Something Shinugwausa, the same place they were murdered like farm animals. The same place they were beheaded. Something that was fresh, not long ago, 3 years plus only. They forgot. They went there, no reserve. Sometimes if I remember this mistake, these fatal mistakes our people are making, I feel somehow, honestly. That's why, you see, IPOB, we shouldn't fail. And we are not going to fail. It doesn't matter what happened. We are not going to fail. Because if we fail, all of us merit to be burnt alive. Everybody. I'm telling you. It doesn't matter the suffering. It doesn't matter the disappointment. It doesn't matter the frustration from anybody. We have no reason to fail. No reason to fail. Never. Because agadi nwanyị daa ada ogbere abụọ agụọ ihe o bu na ihe na ọnụ agụọ ya ọnụ direct. That is what is happening. If we allow IPOB to be destroyed, our enemies will see us as everlasting slaves forever. I am telling you honestly. If you don't understand this, you understand it. What helped the Germans? You are listening to me from Germany. You are enjoying. What helped them is the illuminated souls of the Europeans. That is what helped them. They calculated in future. I was saying it, I said, look, because of religion, you demonize Illuminati. Hey, now on the Illuminati. Now, what type of mentality do these people possess? But in your Bible, your holy book, you praise Solomon. Solomon was an ardent Illuminati. Ardent one. What of the 3 wise men, which you praise always? So you see that sometimes you are not coherent because of programming, religious programming and all. You are not coherent at all. You don't reason in a coherent manner. You praise Solomon for being wise, but in another way, you demonize wise people. You call Illuminati. The wise people that form the countries, streamline the policies that make countries advance. You demonize them. The Illuminatis of Europe, they said no. If we annihilate Germany, if we annex them, if we do too much bad to them, they will become yes, we have conquered Germany. I want you to listen to how people reason, and you judge for yourself to what is happening today. They said, no, we have conquered Germany. The highest thing we can do is to plunder Germany, humiliate them for the meantime, and after we rebuild Germany. There are many extremists among them saying, no, Germany brought untold hardship to not only Europe, but to the whole world. Hundreds of millions of people died in that Second World War for no reason. For no reason. For just the fantasy of one person, of few group of people, which he sold to the country, and they voted him in. That is Adolf Hitler. Remember, Adolf Hitler was a product of democracy. You know, they don't tell you this. They hide all these things. They don't tell you that Adolf, because every time they're telling you that the Second War against the Nazis, come on, against Germany. It's Germany that's fought that war. They used Nazi was the name of the party through which Adolf Hitler entered power. He was voted in democratically by Germans. Are you getting it? By Germans. Majority of Germans, they voted him in. Which means they applauded his ideology. So, let me continue what I was saying. As they defeated Germany, Hitler was gone, he killed himself, burned to ashes. They arrested many of his lieutenants. Now they were considering what to do with Germany. Remember, even that time, the Volkswagen company, which was one of the largest, if not the largest that time, car producing company, could they even converted in manufacturing, weapons. It was there. It was there. They were contemplating what to do, whether to destroy it, because of the anger in them. But the illuminated souls calm everything, that they say, no. If we destroy Germany and forcefully annihilate, assimilate Germans, stop them from speaking their languages, force them to be Americans, to be French, to be English, to be Russians, to be Polish, to be Czechs by force. In future, they will be murmuring this story. They will be telling their children their story. And in future, their children or children, next other generation will rise up, and it will become highly catastrophic to the whole of Europe. They will rise up. And do you see that? Do you see where they are wiser than black race? Are you getting it? In the case of Biafra, they use, I don't know, they impose pogrom on us, killed us, committed genocide even before the war. And when our fathers came back in order to nurse our wounds and say, okay, the only place we'll be safe is in our land. So let us get out of Nigeria and be safe. They said, no, you are going nowhere. You must be part of Nigeria. And they imposed a genocidal war against us. And after everything, they still left us disintegrated. As you see, they said, no, these people, we will finish up with them. And they didn't know that it is that anger that is fueling what we are doing. Because we are not treated well. We have never been treated well since 1970. The three R, rehabilitation, reconstruction, and reintegration, was never respected. And our last president of Biafra, General Philip Effiong, he told them, while signing the armistice, no victor, no vanquish, that he told Nigeria, he told Gowon, if Nigeria did not treat their children well in Nigeria, they will rise up again. I don't know why even our so-called intelligentsia, they don't ask of all these documents. It is there. He made his remark. He said, this is my stand. Before handing over, say, okay, no victor, no vanquished. But if you people, if Nigeria fail to treat Biafran children well, they will rise up. They will rise up again, and that is what we are doing. And this time around, there is no going back. It does, I say, it doesn't, I am happy that, you know, the tap roots of IPOB is in the diaspora. That is the highest thing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did. The highest. Owazirike tried his best. I don't blame him, honestly. He tried his best. He was rounded up. And before you know, he was infiltrated. Masab was infiltrated. And before you know, his commanders were also rounded up. And they met him in jail. Look at people that are supposed to be fighting for your freedom, or they were rounded up to you. Well, if it is you, what will you do? No, let us be fair. Let us be fair, practically fair. If it is you, what will you do? You bow down and say, now let me negotiate for my life. I beg. But this time around is a very different thing altogether. It's a very different thing. IPOB is a very different thing altogether. How will you round us up from every corner of this world? Is practically impossible. I say it is practically impossible. We have the leadership of this struggle in every continent of this world. Hey, you know, when I remember all these things, I become happy. The leadership of this struggle is established in every continent of this world. All. It's not something that is concentrated in one continent. I'm not talking of one country, continent. No, not one continent. The whole continents of this world. So how do you think that we will fail now? Tell me. Tell me now how. How yes, if one person frustrates or dapo, we are Hydra headed. We are like Hydra. You know? Yeah, once for now another head we enter. And don't you see Timothy, who used to broadcast from this platform every blessed day when they renditioned our leader the first time. But he's no more with us. But IPOB continues. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and others, they are the people that formed IPOB, for your information. But it's no more with IPOB, and IPOB is progressing. Don't you see that it is not something, this is not a joke, this is serious. Don't you see that? There is no person that will move out and IPOB will collapse. It's practically impossible. It's not like Masab. Masab was concentrated in Nigeria, and it became a problem because the whole genocide they committed against Biafrans during Masab time, no outcry, because that was not the time of social media. Also, it was seen as internal affairs. Let me tell you, most of us in the diaspora have foreign nationalities. Are you seeing it? So it is not, that is very hard to combat. Nigerians know that. That is why when I look at people, when I listen to people naively, ignorantly talking against IPOB that they are referrals. I laugh. I say anyway, it is only what you don't know is what that is above you. What you don't know is bigger than you. It's not what you know. What you don't know is bigger than you. So there is no need of answering them. So when they call us referrals, you answer, I'm a referral, don't worry. But I used to challenge them. I say, go and ask Nigerian government. They know who IPOB is. They know what IPOB is doing. They know. They know. It's not you individual that out of your maybe jealousy or your envy or your hatred of one person or Mazi Nnamdi Kanu or one person in IPOB or the other, or the IPOB in general. You hate IPOB where we speak. Now, where you because of it, you think that you bring us low to anything. You don't know. You are ignorant. You are completely ignorant. The people that know what IPOB is doing is the Nigerian government. If you have a very high-ranking Nigerian government official, you ask him, he knows. Ask Chinedu what IPOB is doing. He knows very well. Ask Nuhuri Badu. Ask DSS, NIA top official. They know. It's not you. It's not for you to know. So that's why when I look at people talking against IPOB, I look down on them. I say, they are ignorant. Finish. I look down on them. They are ignorant. They don't know. IPOB is undefeatable, indestructible, and we must continue. It doesn't matter what we suffer. It doesn't matter what we see. We must continue. So this evening, I will continue on the manipulations of the Fulani, the Sokoto Caliphate. It is something that we must continue, please. Because in this time around, the Sokoto Caliphate is also trying very hard to manipulate Nigerians to also commit another fatal error that will push the Caliphate more forward. That is what they are doing. In this issue of recent genocide, the Sokoto Caliphate is using everything available in order to rally Nigerians. The Yorubas, they used to use them. Hey, is your brother in power? So it is not us. If you agree, they use that statement, that issue, to rally them around them. Now, ordinary Nigeria, they say, if America come, for your natural resources, anyway America enter. Now, wahala deo. So that you commit the fatal mistake, the fatal error, which the Sokoto Caliphate always wants. That is the way they do. That is their system. They will push you to commit error so that before you realize it, no, there is no Christian genocide. No. It is a farce. It is a this and that. Everybody is being killed. It's not a Christian. They want you. Look at when they want you to continue that narrative. Look at Sheikh Gumi wanting you in that narrative. He uses Islam. No, Muslims, defend yourself. Gather, all of you gather together to fight against Trump, because he's coming to defend the Christians. It tells you all you need to know. When people are saying, no, Muslims are being killed, I want us to, first of all, who is killing who? Let me ask, it's a question. Is there any non-Islamic group that is terrorizing others? The answer is no. who are committing this genocide. Even if they say Muslims are inside, are among, okay, which group is killing? Which religion? They are using the name of Islam. Now, Boko Haram, you see, is a Hausa language, which means westernization is sacred. It's not even Western education. Westernization, you know, Western education is only part of westernization. Are you getting me? Wearing a suit is westernization. There are different things. So Western education is only part of it, but they purposely misinterpret Boko Haram. But it is not their real name. Because Boko Haram is just what the local Hausas call them. Their real name is Arabic, is Jamaat al-Sunnah, Jamaat al-Sunnah, Dawal Jihad, Dawal Jihad. That is the Arabic. Are you getting it? It means people committed to the propagation of the Prophet's teachings and the jihad. Group of Sunni people for the calling and the jihad. And what is jihad? Have you ever seen where in Islamic jihadism they romance with Christians, with other religions? No, tell me. Have you ever had it or seen it? Maybe the Talibans that are jihadis, or that we are jihadis. Now, they allow the establishment of churches, Christian churches. They allow Christian communities, maybe in Afghanistan, to continue existing. No, it doesn't happen. So these are the things Nigerians should know. But many of them close their ears because of one profit of the other, one thing or the other, or ignorance, or mischief, outright mischief that they don't want to understand. People that call themselves group of Sunni people, Sunni Islam people, for the calling and the jihad. Calling. Remember, if you see somebody say, God call me, as a Christian, what does it mean? Oh, he's a man of God. Which means he leave everything and start preaching, preaching the gospel of Christ, as you may take it. These people, this Boko Haram, God called them, Allah called them. They say they are called by Allah to fight jihad. Who are they fighting jihad against? Infidels. That is the Boko Haram you are seeing, you are hearing. ISWAP is that one is clear. Islamic State of West Africa, West African province. ISWAP is a branch of ISIS. So they are trying to establish the Emirates, Islamic Emirates, and it is coming through the Sokoto Caliphate. They established Sokoto Caliphate that was not destroyed by Britain, that was left in order to do the dirty job which we are seeing today. Are you getting the gist now? So when people say no, they don't target Christians, there is no Christian genocide, you ask them, what is the action of the reason of the formation of Boko Haram, what we call Boko Haram? Jamaat al-Sunnah, al-Sunnah lil Dawa wal Jihad in Arabic. That is, people committed to the propagation of the Prophet's teachings and the jihad. And when you look at it, it is the continuation of the Sokoto Caliphate. Because the Sokoto Caliphate was formed, established by Ottoman Dan Fodio for exactly the same thing. for the propagation of the prophet's teachings and jihad. That is exactly the same thing. So I don't know why Nigerians are they have blockade in their brains to understand what is going on in Nigeria. The Sokoto Caliphate is using their brains, mesmerizing with their brains, coupled with words of cash. Now they continue speaking, talking from both sides of their mouth. Ask them, what is ISIS then? Or ISWAP? What is Boko Haram? Okay, Boko Haram, those that are fighting jihad, as we know. Okay, they will romance with Christian communities, right? They will romance with them. Don't you see during Obama regime, during the time of ISIS, or the emancipation of ISIS in the Levante, did they romance with Christians and other religion, Druze, and other religious groups in the Middle East? Did they romance them? No. They committed genocide. It is exactly the same thing they are doing in Nigeria. So what is difficult to understand, or is everything about the politics? They are politicizing everything. People's life, they are using it for politics. But why? People that they give you exactly their name tells you everything you need to know about them. Their names. These people they call bandits, they are all the same thing. Lakurawa, they are the same thing. They are focused, they are going towards the same goal of conquest, continuous establishment, propagation of the caliphate of Allah. That is why Sokoto Caliphate is at the forefront, and it must be dismantled. You see, Sokoto Caliphate, it must be dismantled. Do you see the Sultan of Sokoto? He is the leader. I am telling you. So when they say there is no Christian genocide, you ask them, what do you have there? No, Muslims are being killed. Yes, during the ISIS time in the Levant, in the Middle East, ISIS also killed Muslims. That is true. But they targeted Christians. They targeted other religious groups. They committed genocide in wholesale. That is their primary. Now, after targeting these people, now they will come to the Muslims that they call moderate Muslims. Those that are condoning the infidels. They turn against them. It's just like during Rwandan genocide. Hutus were targeted. Do you see that? But there were also many, Tutsis were targeted. But there were also many Hutus. They call them moderate Hutus that were killed. But the target was Tutsi tribe in Rwanda, for your information. But it does not hide the fact that there are many Hutu tribes that were killed also. But the original target, were the Tutsis. So when they see somebody that is condoning, maybe you are a Hutu, hiding a Tutsi or Tutsis in your house, or trying to protect them, they will take all of you as the same. Do you see that? If they come, somebody said if they come they wanted to burn their houses because the house is for a Muslim. But because there are Christians living in the house, so they mix up with Muslims and Christians. So they don't care. They want to burn all. They want to kill everybody because they see the Muslims there as collateral damage. But the main targets are the other people, the infidels, the Christians. That is it. So you see that what Sokoto Caliphate couldn't complete before the amalgamation of Nigeria, before the British took over Nigeria, or the entity called Nigeria by joining southern and northern side, they call protectorates, into what you call Nigeria today. It is what the Sokoto Caliphate is trying to achieve today, using Boko Haram, using this Islamic terrorism or terrorists to achieve under Nigeria, using Nigerian government state apparatus. Today you see the headline. Let me just read the headline. There is this headline about the abduction of a general in the Nigerian army. A brigadier general, Abu, was gruesomely abducted with a commander and many soldiers killed as they are moving. Let me bring it. That is what you see every day. Every day in Nigeria. And, the Nigerian military, they cannot do anything. They are sitting duck. Where their power lies is come to Biafra region. You see how the Nigerian military is molesting Igbo people. That is innocent Igbo people. That is where their power lies. That is their power. Are you seeing it? Now, the ISWAP Brigadier General, one Brigadier General Oba, captured by ISWAP despite military's denial. Yes, it is confirmed. Nigerian government, they always deny everything. That is their propaganda. They work like BBC, fake news. Brigadier General and his men were in a convoy with members of Civilian Joint Task Force near Sabongare in the Damboa local government area of Borno State on Friday, when members of the ISWAP terrorist sect opened fire on them at about 5 p.m. Now I ask, so a Brigadier General with the convoy, because a Brigadier General is not a small person. They are going in a very huge convoy. So they don't have drone. They don't have helicopters. They don't have jets that are watching everywhere for them. Is that what you are saying? Now, sometimes zu alarm ni. You see, the caliphate is in total control. They are defiant to even Donald Trump. I'm telling you, they are highly defiant. That he can't do anything because they know that they are in charge of the indigenous population. With their mind control, with their propaganda, with their political smart moves, rallying them round. Oh, defend your integrity, your national sovereignty. Oh, defend the Muslims, defend yourself. But they are killing the same Muslims that are not with them, that are not Fulani. That is why, you see the clip I played before. The man is you've had this, seen the clip. He's a living witness. The person you see that is serving as the vice president, Shetima, they are the concentrated, Fulani terrorist sponsors and leaders. You see in a video where he was speaking to a big terrorist leader that come from Mali. Fulani, they studying him in their language. Oh, Fulani. Oh, yeah, Fulani, you come from Mali. He was doing him very well. Oh, you are welcome. He is your vice president. There is a photo of where he was eating with the terrorists, taking breakfast with them. The Kabiru Sokoto that was captured in his house, he hidden in his house. Why? But these are your political leaders. A high-ranking Nigerian military spy, he came and told Nigerians the situation. He shouted by the name Olanwumi, Kunle Olanwumi, Commodore Kunle Olanwumi. He said that the problem is religion. The problem in Nigeria, the problem of what is happening is religion. There is a clash of civilization. When you are talking about progress as a Biafran, as a Southerner in general, the caliphate, that is not their problem. Their number one problem is to make sure that they conquer everybody, put everybody on their cage first. That is why they put people like Pantami, a terrorist. The terrorists are in charge. Even they put Pantami before in a very sensitive place, in charge of digital, your ID, your name, national identity number, every of your data. Do you see that? And you are looking of where is the problem? Why haven't they proscribed the Fulani headsmen that are killing? This one is common thing everywhere. Killing people, destroying people's farms, voluntarily, videoing it. But they are not proscribed. They don't pursue them. Instead, somebody that Fulani wanted to kill in his farm, and he overpowered the Fulani person, took his the knife and killed the guy. He is now facing a death penalty, death sentence. He's sentenced to death in Nigeria, I think in Kwara State. And Nigerians are looking at where is their problem coming from. Nigerians are saying Christians are not targeted. And I asked them, why was Boko Haram formed? Go and study about Boko Haram. Why was it formed? To Islamize everybody. To turn everywhere into an Islamic state. It's the same thing with ISWAP, where everybody will be, subservient to the Fulani. Are you getting it? Now they take over your land, because that is it. You see, it's another colonization. When Britain colonized our land, they take our lands anyhow and build anything they want to build, do anything they want to do. You don't ask question. You ask question as a community. They deal with you. You remember the 1929 about women protest, which they termed riot. They killed more than 50 of our mothers that time for protesting their right against taxes being levied to them, or even women, even the goats, their animals, home animals. They protested and they killed them because they were under colonization. That is the same thing the Fulani is trying to do all over Nigeria. Which one is worst, please? Is it IPOB? We say no. Instead of us being under the colonization of the Sokoto Caliphate, we better go back to where we were before 1914. Now, the Fulani Caliphate, the Sokoto Caliphate said no. They are using Boko Haram, using ISWAP, Lakurawa, Mahmuda, Wolu Wolu. All of the terrorist groups, Fulani headsmen, bandits, all, they are using it to subjugate, to colonize your land and pursue you from your land as a non-Fulani and say you must take Islam in their own way and they will control you. Which one is better? I am talking to Nigerians, please. Which one is better for you? Okay. You want the Sokoto Caliphate to use their terrorist arms to subjugate and take over your ancestral lands, as they have done in many parts of the northern Nigeria, taking over Christian communities. You know, the Christian communities, those that are lucky, that we are lucky to escape alive, are now living in refugee camps. Is it what you want? No. You know, that is why we open X space. If you cannot come to call on Radio Biafra to challenge us, to at least have a robust debate, to disagree, to tell us what you think, that thing you are saying as gossip, come here, say it, criticize us, tell us why IPOB is getting it wrong. You cannot come. Now we open our X space, Biafra Regional Affairs, every Sunday by 5 p.m. Biafra time. Come there. You cannot, you don't want to come. Now, what do you want now? Only gossip. Because you are an animal. That is why you are afraid. Why are you afraid? I am asking again, which one do you prefer? For every indigenous people in that Nigeria to be free of all this terrorism or terrorists. We want to be free. We say no. Instead of us to be subjugated to the type of tradition we don't know, we are being marginalized. They don't want our land to be developed. Instead of Nigeria being a big for nothing space, we want to separate and be where we are, or where we were before 1914. We'll be like Arrow Confederacy, that is Biafra. You know, we don't want your problem, and we are not going to give you problem. Or what Nigerians want, is it the Boko Haram, ISWAP, bandits that are going around killing people, committing genocide in Christian communities, you know, killing pregnant women, wiping out communities, that you must accept Islam in their own Salafist Wahhabism manner. And Nigeria will remain one, but under their control. Is that what you want? You know, why not be reasonable, please? We urge you to be reasonable as you are listening to me, as you're a Nigerianist castigating IPOB. Please be reasonable. Just think, reason, please. We are in a country that is in the hand of the Sokoto Caliphate. And what is Sokoto Caliphate? Sokoto Caliphate is, it was established in order to and they want to conquer your land. They come to Benin, they conquer you, they take over, they be in charge, they establish emirates in Nasarawa, in our resources, everything. We become subjugates to them. We become slaves to them. Now, is that the Nigeria that you want? Is that the country you want? We say no. We Biafrans say no. We don't know these people. We don't know this type of tradition. It is not our tradition. It is not our culture. It's not our religion. We don't want it. We are free people. We are Republicans by nature. So you cannot control us like that. We don't want it. So instead of us to be like that, now let us remove ourselves from Nigeria and be on our own. And they say no. Hey, no. Why Biafrans? They were causing problem. But the real people that are causing problem, the Fulani, they are being pampered. Don't you see the manipulation? I want you to see the manipulation. He's watching, he's looking, he's moping at you. Oh, you idiots, he's looking at you. Now, look at today's news also. Terrorists attack Kebbi Girls Secondary School, abduct several students, kill staff members. That is today's news, 17th. Where are they bring back our girls activists? In the news, what you see is a terrorist attack. They kill. I saw a video, somebody was hiding, videoing these Fulani terrorists that are on motorcycles. They call them bandits. He said they are going to, I don't know whether Katangora, they are running to commit genocide there. This is what we see every day in Nigeria. With all this, how can you talk about development? Now, Donald Trump say he will come to put an end to this by killing all these terrorists. The same caliphate, Sokoto caliphate, turn around and tell you, no, they are coming to invade your country, your sovereign country. How sovereign is Nigeria? No, tell me now. How sovereign is Nigeria? When Fulani can troop in, terrorists can troop in, go in and out as they want. When foreigners are being, paid to come into Nigeria to commit terrorist activities, to commit genocides. No, it is not about invasion of sovereignty. No, it's only when Trump want to come they invoke that rubbish, garbage. Do you see the Sokoto Caliphate manipulations of the indigenous people in that entity called Nigeria? They know that you have no brain. They can use anything in order to stir up your useless sentiment. After all, Ottoman Danfodio did it and succeeded. He started preaching to Hausa community, turning them against their own people. That you either be a pure Muslim, you don't need to collaborate with the infidels. Infidels, they are brothers that are not Muslims. They brought in foreign religion, used foreign ideology, foreign religion. They use it to divide them. Extreme Islam, they use it to turn brother against brother. And the Hausas fell for that. They killed themselves. And before you know, Ottoman Danfodio became the leader of the faithful, as they call him, Ottoman Danfodio, the teacher, the great teacher. He became the leader of the Hausa people, propagated by the Hausas against themselves. This is what, this is the manipulations of the Fulani Caliphate. In Nigeria, it only happens in Nigeria. They hardly manipulate this to other races or other tribes in the Sahel because they know them. Are you getting it? They know them. The people, they don't try that. They tried to conquer Medina in Mali during the old time, but the people resisted. They tried in various places. The people resisted and also took over. Even in Guinea-Conakry, where Fulani have the single tribal majority, they don't near political power in Guinea-Conakry, for your information. They don't give them no political power. Instead, all other tribes combine together in order, if it comes to voting, they combine together to vote for non-Fulani. In Guinea-Conakry, Futajelon. Are you getting it? But in Nigeria, the Fulani saw that, look, these are people that could be manipulated anyhow. They have small brains, their brains are not too much developed. That is what they saw in that part of the world, the place you call Nigeria today. That is why somebody like Sheikh Gumi can be proud of talking, defending openly the terrorists, the Fulani terrorists, and nothing happens. Today, in Kebi, the Fulani terrorists have struck again. They have abducted girls in girls' secondary school. Let me read it. Terrorists in the early hours on Monday. It is today's news, 17th day of November 2025. Terrorists in the early hours of Monday stormed the Maga Comprehensive Girls Secondary School in Kebbi State, abducting an unspecified number of female students and killing at least one staff member. A school guard was also injured during the attack, which occurred around 5:52 a.m. The attackers invaded the school compound while the students were preparing for morning routine, launching their assault with sporadic gunfire, harm angle reports. You see that? You know why they are doing? They say they don't want to westernization. Western development, they don't want it. Not only Western education, westernization. Are you seeing it? That is why they go to schools, they abduct children. These people now, these girls now, they will take them as wives. And when you look at it, check them. Most of them are Christians. I am telling you. Have you forgotten Leo Shaib? But do you see all these things that happened today? The killing of a brigadier, Nigerian brigadier general and the commander and Nigerian military being slaughtered by the Fulani terrorists. School girls were abducted, kidnapped, and staff members killed. All happening at the same time. The Nigerian president didn't say nothing. Is this the type of country you want to continue being? This is why, if it is your choice, no, it is not our choice. When you look at, when you ask, meet some Igbo Nigerians, you tell them all this news, you say, what do you think about it? They say, no, it doesn't concern me, it's in the north. And you say, but this is your country. It's a country. In a country, normally, whatever that happens in any side happens to every side. It should concern every side. If you say it doesn't concern you, which means you're a hypocrite. This is why we want to officialize our own. We say, no, we don't want this to continue happening. Therefore, we want to separate from this so that we will be able to protect our zone. Do you see our logic? But Nigerians, they say, no, yes, it's one Nigeria, but it didn't concern me. Why didn't it concern you? Why didn't it concern you as a Nigerian? They abduct school children. There is no protest anywhere in Nigeria. Imagine that they are your children. Imagine that they are your sisters. These are people's children, for goodness sake. You don't see Obieze coming up, bring back our girls. No. Do you see the Fulani manipulation, the Sokoto Caliphate manipulation? They tell you, oh Nigeria, Nigeria. I want to play this clip. I don't know. I want you to listen to the interview of Bowala. I think on RT. Just listen. Let me just play it a bit. Let me play. Listen. For you to see hear the hypocrisy in them. Listen.
Had our history with the Americans, they were white. The first reaction was that of shock and surprise at the beginning. And the reason why we were shocked at the beginning is because the status quo at that time was the cooperation that we are having with the US government. And just 2 months before then, we arrested, I think 2 or 3 months, we arrested the leader, the terrorist leader of the Ansaru terrorist organization. And that drew, commendation from the US government. And a few months earlier, when we also made arrest of some leaders of the bandit and how they surrender, we also got the same commendation from them. We also signed not long from now another contract where we paid over 3.
Sorry, somebody was calling me.
That everything was okay. So when that information came, it was a shock at the beginning. But we felt like, well, it's still a wake up call for us to look at what we're doing and how we can intensify and increase our cooperation with them for the purposes of achieving the same goal that we both have. They want to end counterterrorism. We are most affected and we want to end it. From the face value, it may look like a threat because when you say guns are blazing and then you authorize.
He's talking, Daniel Buola here is talking, he's being interviewed in RT, he's talking about the Trump, Trump issue, about the Christian genocide issue raised by Trump. That is what he's talking about. I want you to listen.
To operation in Nigeria. Nigeria being a sovereign country, then it may, a lot of people will tell you that it is a threat. But then we quickly understood the message and we felt that the message is for us to intensify our effort. And so we then threw away the rhetoric. But at first we thought it was like a threat. But you need to know that Nigeria is a sovereign country, a member of the United Nations. And as a sovereign country, we have had and we're still having relationship, both bilateral, multilateral, and multifaceted relationship with the rest of the world. We have had our history with the Americans, the White House, the American government, the main Pentagon, and the State Department in our joint effort to end terrorism. So we felt that there was no need for the American troops to come to Nigeria. Our soldiers are sufficient. What our soldiers need is what the Americans use.
The soldiers is sufficient. Nigeria is a sovereign country. But when Irabo was there, as is it chief of defense staff or chief of army staff, Irabo, General Irabo, he continued lamenting that the northern border, Nigerian borders are completely porous, 90% porous. They are not manned. But you're a sovereign country. You know, sovereignty starts from even you taking charge of your country, manning your borders, because this is your sovereignty. But you cannot, and you are claiming sovereignty. Anybody can enter in. Terrorists can enter. Anybody can enter as he wants. And they are talking about sovereignty. What a hypocrisy. When you, as a man, you cannot even be able to control your family. You cannot be able to defend your family. And you are saying you are to your family man. No. Does it make sense? It doesn't. Continue listening.
In fighting terrorism, higher equipment, more reconnaissance drone system, satellite intelligence collection mechanism, and then improve fighter jets, and then more broad review of our defense agreement that will now broaden our use of the equipment we bought from them, the military equipment we bought from them, to use it in areas where we are seeing emerging threats in Nigeria. Because with some of the ammunitions and the equipment that we bought from them could only be used in the northeastern Nigeria, but we have seen the proliferation of these terrorist activities in the northwest. And then recently we saw one or two skirmishes in the southwest. So that means the weapon.
You say one or two skirmishes in the southwest. Do you see how they are downgrading things? They say skirmishes. The people that are being killed in Kwara all the time. Everywhere say skirmishes. Continue listening, please.
We have should be able to operate in any part of Nigeria to end that. Otherwise, the signal that the terrorists will take is that if they can migrate to places where we couldn't use those equipment, it would be like a safe haven for them. So at the beginning, and that's why sometimes when we complain about non-governmental organization as being used sometimes by foreign interests, because the report on human rights violation started with the report by the non-governmental and civil society organization in the Northeast when they accused the Nigerian soldiers of violating human rights. But when investigation was found out, they discovered that it's more of a hoax, and then limiting the extent to which we could use those equipment. Because when Boko Haram were operating within and in the city, then you can call the issue of human rights violation, because then it is asymmetry. But as soon as Boko Haram were chased out of Borno and they went to Sambisa, there's a clear delineation, a militarized position, so to speak. When you are facing Boko Haram, there's nothing like human rights. Terrorism, fighting terrorism is fighting terrorism. The use of authorized military force is permitted, even under the United Nations Convention. You can use lethal force. And when you talk about taking out terrorists, I don't think it has to do with the arrest of terrorism like you would if you're in a system within the populace and you want to isolate terrorist people from the civil populace. So that was what we used then against Nigeria. But the good thing is that it started with Barack Obama. When Donald Trump came in 2016, I think about 2017, he understood why we need those weapons. And then he reversed the order, embargo on the sale of certain arms. And he decided to sell a lot of the arms, which includes now the Super Tucano. So what is happening with the emerging threats clearly shows that there is need for us to sit down and review. Because there is no way you can defeat terrorists of the 21st century with the weaponry of yesterday. The terrorists that operate in the shores and the borders of Nigeria are not different from the terrorists that operate in Afghanistan, Iraq, that the United Nations used an advanced weapon against them. So if you say you want to use advanced weapon against terrorists, they have similar emerging threats, similar technology. They use drones. So you cannot be successful unless you have the capacity, capability, and unrestricted access to the equipment that you will need in order to deal with them. Otherwise, a fight of 6 months might take you 6 years. The thing is that a general statement about how globally there is a tolerance of the killing of Christians, we cannot speak for other countries because it may apply to them. But certainly in our own case, it is not. And this case, our position is supported by all the conventional mechanisms for reporting. If you look at the foreign organizations in Nigeria,
you listen to the foreign mechanism of reporting he's talking about. That is the media. Listen to them, to their names.
All of them, their report only suggests the insecurity situation, the proliferation of the Boko Haram and their auxiliaries, then the places where they have stretched. But then in all of those reports, they said that there has been a steady decline from 2015, 16, 17, and by the time we go to 2023, right down here, there is a steady decline. This is the conventional report. And in the conventional report, there is a conclusion that the killing has no religious undertone. So whether you look at...
Do you see, you said the killing, is a report, it's based on reports of BBC. Media like BBC, fake news BBC. You see how BBC is being disgraced everywhere now. You see, I put it on my timeline a few days back. The video of where the doctor they edited the video of remarks of Donald Trump last time, in his last time of office, that triggered the people's hatred. You don't know how media can control people. These are the, he said the killing in Nigeria has no religious undertone. But Boko Haram, I've explained it here. Boko Haram is fighting jihad. So what is jihadism? Who are they fighting? Unbelievers. Which means it's religious. Why are these people, lying openly through their teeth? Whatever that is going on in Nigeria is the terrorism in Nigeria is about religion. It's religious in nature. And this man, he said, no, it's not about religion. Then why is ISWAP? Islamic State of West African Province. That is Islam. Is a religion, for goodness sake. Boko Haram, the name in Arab, I cannot pronounce it well, but translated in English is people committed to the propaganda of the prophet's teaching and jihad, prophet teachings and jihad. What is it? So when they say that things that are going on, the terrorism that is going on there is not of religious contour, of religious magnitude, then what is it? They want to establish Islamic State. Islam is what? Who are they? Is there Islamic State in Nigeria and they want to establish it? The answer is no. Nigeria on paper is a secular country. But this Boko Haram is what all of them wants to establish Islamic State. So it has a religious undertone, for goodness sake. It's really sad, honestly. But continue listening, please.
Then you look at the assessment of the State Department as well, USIP and the rest. So when the allegation came that this government is systematically enhancing the killing of Christians in Nigeria, we knew it was a hoax. But you don't...
This is not a hoax. This man that is talking is from Borno State. He's a Christian. His community has been wiped out. He cannot go back to his community. It's a Christian community. Many Christian communities in Borno State, before they say Borno has 30 or more percent of Christians in Borno State, but today where are they? They have abandoned their communities to Boko Haram. Boko Haram is in charge of their communities, and they are living in internally displaced camps. That is refugee camps, internal refugee camps in other places. So what does it mean? He say he has no religious undertone. Lying, I don't know. Anyway, sometimes they did all these their interviews. They did them, not sometimes. They did them. Otherwise, why can't you then, if he has no religious undertone, why is it Boko Haram? Why is it ISWAP? They are fighting for the establishment of Islamic State under the Caliphate, Sokoto Caliphate. So, you are talking that it has no religious undertone. So, if they see Christian community, they just tell you, say, thank you, stay. No, don't worry. Any religion that is not what they want, that their religion they want to establish, they will kill and kill and kill. Let me tell Christians in Nigeria, non-Muslims in general, even moderate Muslims, those moderate Muslims, which this caliphate also, the Fulani terrorists also referred to as non-Muslims. That is why they kill them, because for them, they are not Muslims. As long as they cannot rise up to kill infidels, they are not Muslims. This is the golden opportunity you have. If you miss this opportunity, you cry till thy kingdom come. It seems when you pray, oh God, help us, God, send a savior. And let me say, God will answer your prayer and send the Trump to save you. Now you start saying, no, it's not like that. We need to respect Nigeria's sovereignty. Are you not a fool? You're a fool now at 40. That is it. Continue listening, please. Please, I don't know, this thing is no longer coming out. I don't know where I touched. Just hold on. Why this thing is not come? The voice is not. There is somewhere I touched. There's something things I wanted to bring out.
In relation to this issue, I can tell you boldly, and you can verify it, the entire global media have now come to the consensus that the killings in Nigeria are not targeted at any religion. They even went further to say those who allege that the killing is religiously based have not provided evidence to support the claim. So if you look at Reuters investigation, you see it. You look at BBC investigation, you see it. Even CNN.
Look at the people, I mean, the media group he's citing. Reuters, BBC, even CNN. You know, I'm happy that Donald Trump is suing BBC for $5 billion. I am happy. Let them pay. They will pay. They will pay and collapse because their crimes have reached high heaven. If BBC can do this to Donald Trump, what do you think they have been doing to us, Biafrans? Because we have no power now, we can't do them nothing. They stuck up non-existing Igbo coup in 1966. BBC that started the pogrom, the genocide of Biafrans. Let me tell you, these are the things Britain, if they look at it, they say no, that they will never allow Biafra to get freedom because they are afraid that if Biafra comes, that they will pay. That Britain, that Biafra will sue them, they will pay heavily for what they have done to us. That is part of their fear. That is why they are trying. Look at how they twisted electronically. They twisted Donald Trump's statement. They twisted it, and that led to their director's resignation. That is it. And it is going to hammer on BBC. I'm telling you, because the evil they are committing against Biafrans, it has reached to high heaven. It has reached to, you know, all over the world, even beyond. They twist people, public opinion with their trick. They say so. They twist the truth. They turn it upside down and propagate lies against a people. We must continue. Just please continue listening. Let me see.
You see, even CNN that appear to be center, when they stayed in the center in the analysis, they said evidence as was reported by the various people on ground suggests that it is not a killing targeted at a religion. But we know that those who pushed that narrative had a sinister agenda. The ultimate plan is to set Nigeria up along the religious lines, right? You have Christians and Muslims fighting over this. And then the ultimate end, only God knows what the intention is. But it was a hoax. And that hoax started with a separatist movement in Nigeria because the congressman that highlighted the point quoted the...
Do you see what he's calling? It's no more a terrorist movement. A terrorist group in Nigeria, as they used to call us. It's a separatist movement. It's referring to IPOB. So he's using this in order to stoke up, because he stoke up hatred, in order to downgrade the reality that is going on. People that investigated for years, put their boot on the ground, and investigated, traveled all over Nigeria, traveled the northern parts where all this met with people, with victims, met communities, went to IDP camps, understood and documented everything, and made the report. He's saying he's a horse. Look at Daniel Buwala. This issue now, this lies brought him to to the limelight. Remember, the former Minister of Information, Laya Mohammed, was there. Today, he is no more there. Who knows him again? This one, Obidokone, he don't start his own. Just in order to defend the government that is paying him. The government through which is looting. That is the only thing. So people's lives do not matter for him. They do not matter to him. People's lives, communities that we are destroyed, genocides committed, they do not matter to him. What matters to him is to defend his lootings. That is how greedy they are. Greedy bastards. That is how they are. Continue listening, please.
Apologies to the organization that is supportive of the separatist movement. So we know that there is no targeted killing of Christians. We recognize that Christians are killed. We also recognize that Muslims are killed. We also recognize people have not identified with any religion.
Who is killing who? You say Christians are not targeted. But why don't they mention who are these terrorists? What are they? You know, a wise question will be, a wise journalist will ask, but you say this thing has no religious undertone. But the people that are committing this are religious, under religion. So why are you saying this? You say Muslims are being killed. Now who is killing Muslims? If that's the case. Who? Is it a social club that is just killing Muslims, killing Christians, killing everybody? The answer is no. It is a caliphate, Ottoman Dan Fodio originated caliphate jihadism that is still going on. And people don't know. They want to take over every part of Nigeria. It will be in their control. Before you talk about development, for them, development does not exist. Advancement does not exist. That is why you see anything that is happening in the north, the way the north is impoverished, they want every part of Nigeria to be impoverished. That is why they circulate hunger. They circulate poverty. Because as their people are poor, they want to circulate it, it becomes national. Are you getting what I'm saying? Beggars everywhere in the north, they want it circulated everywhere in the whole of Nigeria, so that it will no longer be in the north. That is the way they want Nigeria to be. So that you don't have power to develop. You don't have power to develop. You don't have no power. The power belongs to the caliphate. And that is why this caliphate must be dismantled. If people want to succeed, nations in Nigeria want to succeed, you see this caliphate, it is the one that is holding everybody down. Are you getting it? The same way they are controlling the Almajiris in the north, impoverishing them. Every morning you see up to 200, 500 Almajiris lining up in one Alhaji. Maybe he's a public servant, he's a senator that is looting dry everything that comes to the community. He enters into his hand. The Almajiris don't know nothing. So he will be using a fraction to be giving them food, giving them tea, to cura de nuno in the morning and in the night. And they will be thanking him that he's a good person. That is it. Be begging. They want every part of Nigeria to be like that. Are you getting me? That is why, you know, like in Biafra region, if they see a young, look at Nigerian police, Nigerian military, they see a young Biafran riding a nice car, they will either try to obtain you or even they kill you to label you that you are one thing or the other, one criminal or the other. Do you see that? Because they don't believe that they want to nationalize that poverty. That poverty that is striking, that have stricken the north, they want to nationalize it so that a young person like you don't need to, you're supposed to be begging. Do you see that? Young Igbo boy, now they turn you, they say you must be a beggar, like Almajiris. So why should you have a car? Why should you be hustling, making money? Whereas the Sokoto Caliphate wants to nationalize begging, wants to nationalize poverty everywhere, to break our bones, to change our nomenclature. That is what they are doing. This is what the Caliphate has in stock for everybody. And that is why the Sokoto Caliphate must be destroyed. You see that? I will stop here playing this thing. I will stop here playing it. But what am I trying to say? That this Sokoto Caliphate must be dismantled. Are you getting what I'm saying? The Sokoto Caliphate must be dismantled. That is what we preach here. Because the continuous maintenance of this Sokoto Caliphate is the demise of the indigenous population. The Sokoto Caliphate was established through conquest in 1804 by Ottoman Folio. That is by the Fulani. They are this terrorism that is going, this Christian genocide that is going, and genocide of communities everywhere that is going on everywhere. It is the continuation of the caliphate. They want to continue establishing it, expanding it. That is it. So Nigeria remains the field where the Sokoto Caliphate is exploiting. They want to control, to expand their caliphate, the Sokoto Caliphate, to everywhere. That is what is going on. That is what is going on. But they are using the guise of Nigeria. They are using excuse. They are using Nigeria as an excuse in order to continue what they are doing. How many times have you heard when genocides are being committed in different parts of Nigeria, in the Middle Belt, everywhere, they will be calling the military. The military say, no, there is no way, we don't have the order to go after these terrorists, to these Fulani terrorists. You see, look at the Brigadier General being, kidnapped and executed. Who sabotaged them? Who sabotaged them? Remember, during the time of Obama, during the time of the Chibok girls, America wanted to send special forces to rescue these girls because they know where they are. They know. Now they gave the Nigerian military the news, that secret news, the information that look, they are coming to rescue the girls. Are you hearing me? That they know where they are. They are coming so time, so time. Thinking that they share the intelligence, thinking that they are dealing with human beings, that their plan, they expose their plan, America exposed their plan, that they are coming, what they will do, they will spray gas, sleeping gas, so that both the terrorists and the girls, the kidnapped and the kidnappers will be sleeping. They will all doze off. Now when they come, they will carry the girls. They will release them. Are you hearing me? And arrest all the terrorists. Do you know what? When the American Special Forces reached that place, they all now saw that the whole terrorists, they were wearing gas masks. This is a true story of what happened a few years back during the Goodluck Jonathan time. That was the time American government, they no longer trust Nigerian at all, giving them any information. That was the reason when Donald Trump was in power the first time, his first time of office from 2016 to 2020, when an American citizen was kidnapped by terrorists also in Nigeria and brought down to northern Nigeria for them to hide, they hid him, demanding huge ransom. America sent special squad, the SEALs, and they went without informing Nigeria. Nigerian military, nothing, nobody. They went there and cleared the terrorists and rescued their citizens and went back to America. Successful. But when they tip off Nigeria, now Nigeria will tip off the terrorists. Who is doing this? Which means what is happening as they have butchered these generals and many Nigerian military. Bet me these are non-Fulani. Some of them, most of them will be Igbos, Southerners mostly, and Igbos in particular. Most of them. I don't know, General M. Oba, I don't know. But most of them, they tip them off. They inform the terrorists. Who is informing them? People in the high places in the military, which means Nigerian military, Nigerian government has been highly infiltrated. The Sokoto Caliphate, the terrorists are running the show in Nigeria. That is it. So this is the Sokoto Caliphate manipulation. They have been manipulating since 1804 till today. They never stopped, and they will continue until they become in charge of everybody's land, everybody's life. But Biafra, we never accept it. We never agree. And that is why we are saying, no, we want to go our different ways. Are you getting what I'm saying? This is where I'm going to stop. I will go into just a few minutes break so that when I come back, I will open the lines so that before we call it, please, do not go away. I will be right back. Please do not go away. I will be right back.
1992-93 in Kaduna, a riot broke out which, as at 1992-93 in Kaduna, a riot broke out which they call the Zango Kataf riot. I was a young boy, very, very young then, and people were killed in scores. If you are not an Afsa person practicing Muslim in Islam, they were killed. Especially if you are from the southern part of Kaduna, the tribes from the southern part of Kaduna, they were massacred. It was called the Zango Kataf riot. And if the next thing they do is to burn churches, kill Christians, and then if they are done with that, then they focus on businesses that is for Igbo people, Igbo-owned businesses, and they destroyed it. I grew up knowing that Christians are an endangered species in Nigeria. In the year 2000, when the Sharia riot, how many of you have heard of the Sharia riot? Hundreds of thousands of people were killed in Kaduna. I can remember vividly that we had to defend our house from people. They brought some Fulani boys and they faced our house. They were shooting arrows. They were stoning our zinc. They spot our zinc shooting arrows. Even though I was a Muslim then, even though my father was a Muslim then, but because majority of the people in our compound were Christians, so they were willing to destroy every one of us because we're living with Christians. I can remember a particular church in Mando, for those that know Mando, in Kaduna, called Chapel of Redemption. That church was destroyed. And so from that time, anytime there's a little hanky-panky in Nigeria, the first target is churches and Christians. And this has prevailed for a long time. That even if there's a problem with in another country, the Muslim and the Hausas in Nigeria will rise up and begin to kill Christians. How many of you remember the miswatch crisis in 2002, 2001, 2002? That somebody drew a picture of Muhammad or something in France, long away in France, and they began to fight in Nigeria. Are you following me? Christians are endangered species. Now let me give you, and that's how it has continued. Scores have been killed, and they focus on regions where there is a mixture of both Christianity and Islam. If you look at states like Kaduna, state like Plateau State, state like Nasarawa, state like Taraba, state like Bauchi, state like Gombe, state like Borno. These are places where they focus on because they intend to eliminate every living Christian in that place. Anybody that debunks it is a total lie, because I have grown and lived in the north. I've spent 80 to 80% of my life in the north, so I understand this thing. Several times, I cannot forget the Sharia riot. We were running for our lives, even though we were Muslims, but we're still running because as far as you are not of the ethnic group practicing what they practice, you are a victim. You can be burnt alive. Many of us saw human beings that were burnt alive, like roasted like yam, and it has been going on for a long time. The genocide against the Christian faith. Are you with me? Many years ago, in Kanu State, a man was beheaded. And anything they talk about, he said blasphemy. And guess who was the person that led it? The man called Sanusi, Lamido Sanusi, was the one that led him on. And they beheaded him, they killed the man. They killed him and they put his hand on the stake and they were using it to parade the city. You will understand of a woman also that is an evangelist. Evangelist Eunice that was preaching about 2016 or 18 in Abuja. And they killed her. We cannot talk about a young girl called Deborah Samuel that was killed. I schooled in Jos, and for years, the people of Plateau have been massacred. Riot breaking out every single time. The word that the moment anything happens, the next people that are victims are Christians. And it is unfortunate that all these years the government have not been able to do anything about it. But the agenda is deep. Are you with me this morning? Why am I saying? Because I don't want us to be an ignorant people. If we are ignorant people, they will control the narrative. And this is, let me tell you this truth. God will not come and fight for you. Remove that thing from your mind. If Christians don't rise up, pray from now till tomorrow. God is not coming to fight for you. Are you with me? Now, in the year 2009, Boko Haram started. Boko Haram started because of a section. It was a political movement. They created Boko Haram as a political talks to bring confusion into the government of Goodluck Jonathan, and to be able to, destroy any opposition, starting from Borno State, under the watch of a man called Kashim Shettima, which is now the vice president of Nigeria. Kashim Shettima and the other man, Ali Mohammed Sharif. These were the people that started the business of Boko Haram as a political talks to be able to oppose their opponents. But after a time, the ideology grew and they began to destroy. Now, it became a problem and they began to use it to destroy, bombing here and there. In 2009, 2010. As of 2010, a man led a meeting in Jos. Are you with me? He led a meeting that they were going to annihilate Christians within the locality of Plateau, Bauchi, Kaduna, and Nasarawa. And he said they are going to perform jihad. They will bring jihad and they will go together. If the Islamic leaders are not willing to lead them, he is ready to lead the movement. I have the minute of that meeting in my phone presently. Guess who is that person? It's Pantami, that was the former minister of communication under Buhari's regime. And several times, these are people that are terrorist sympathizers. And that is why the Nigerian army have not been able to win the war against the terrorism. Because people the terrorists have infiltrated the Nigerian ranks, the army ranks, so they cannot win the war. That said, Osama bin Laden was a better Muslim than he is. He was sad when Osama bin Laden was killed. And he has said it several times that Boko Haram should not be killed. He said they are Muslim brothers. How do you win a war against terrorism when there are people high in government that are sympathizers to terrorism? How do you win that war? Now, there are 4 categories of insecurity or people that are causing insecurity. Number 1, you have Boko Haram. Number 2, you have bandits. Number 3, you have Fulani herdsmen. Now I'm going to show you how they are connected. Many people don't know. The Boko Haram and the Fulani herdsmen have one mission. The mission is simple: Islamize Nigeria. Come to a territory that are Christian dominated, kill everybody there, occupy their land. Go to Benue, look for a community, kill them there, occupy their land. That's always me. Boko Haram and the Fulani herdsmen. Have you noticed that Fulani herdsmen they don't kidnap, they kill? There's hardly a place you hear that Fulani herdsmen capture that they say these are Fulani herdsmen. No, when they go, they kill. How do they kill? They kill with guns. You must now ask yourself, how does a Fulani man get AK-47? Do you know the cost of one AK-47? One AK-47 is over $1,000 something. Where will a Fulani man be able to obtain to be able to get one AK-47? Are you with me? And now, so you will know that there are people that are sponsoring this movement. Then the Boko Haram and the Fulani, they go about Christian-dominated areas. You will understand that when this terrorism started in Nigeria, that only people that were killed were Christian churches. You will not hear that they killed anyone. It is Christians and churches. I remember in Kaduna then that churches began to look for security men to guide their churches in every service day. Otherwise, you can be in church and the next is boom, everybody dies. And churches that don't have money to hire soldiers began to use some of their members. I was a member of the security team in my church in Deeper Life in Kaduna in 2010. Because we don't stay in the church. Once I come to the church in the morning, we stay outside, moving around patrolling, because anybody can come and drop anything. So when Boko Haram started, the majority of Muslims, the Hausa, Northern Muslims, they were happy. I know of people that were celebrating it. If you see them crying today, I'll tell you why. At the initial beginning of this thing, they were happy celebrating the killings of Christians. They said they are purging Nigeria of army. It was majorly of Christians and Christian-dominated areas. But when it comes to 2014, the man Buhari and APC that wanted to overthrow the government of Jonathan, by all means, decided to employ mercenaries from Niger, from Chad, from all those Fulani, from other African nations where they are Fulani, and they brought them into Nigeria. What was the goal? The goal was that if Jonathan does not concede defeat, in the election, they were going to rain hell on Nigeria. So they brought in these mercenaries and they equipped them with rifle, the Erufais, the Buharis. Are you with me? The Erufais, the Buharis. Every one of these people called APC, they brought in mercenaries and armed them in the bushes and told them to wait. The moment Goodluck Jonathan did not concede defeat in the election, they were going to start. But unfortunately for them, Goodluck knew of the assignment. He got intel about it, and because the man said his ambition does not worth the blood of millions. So the man conceded defeat and left. And so they declared APC winner. Now, you have already brought people from different parts to come and fight. But what they wanted to come and fight for did not achieve anymore. So now they left those people in the bush. They left them with guns and ammunition in the bush. And when Buhari became the president, he abandoned them. Instead of them to settle them and let them go back, they abandoned them. And the people saw Nigeria as a place that is good. And the people decided to remain in Nigeria. Those are the people that started bandits. Before, we don't have anything like bandits. Banditry started under the watch of APC, under Buhari, because they were the ones that brought them in. Kidnapping, because they needed to survive. So they started by kidnapping. And they started by kidnapping. And they started by kidnapping. And they started by kidnapping. Over time, now, you understand that there are certain parts of this nation where there are mineral resources. Don't be an ignorant Christian. Follow me. Don't be an ignorant Christian. Don't be in a nation where you don't have understanding of what is happening. Now, there are some parts of Nigeria where there are good resources. And so, and this is have been illegally mined by elites, the military generals, the oligarchs, the people that are the leadership of the North, they were mining these resources, and the money does not go into the federal government account. So what they do is that they employ the services of this banditry to create two things. Number one, to create diversion. So when you go to Zamfara, that's why you hear that they say there is killing in Zamfara now. It's because of the Ilema gold mine. There is gold in Zamfara that they are mining. And so these bandits that are already in the bush, some people collaborate with them, partnered with them, and told them to see, keep creating confusion, create chaos. When you keep creating chaos, the Nigerian state and the people of Nigeria will not be able to focus on the illegal mining. They'll be concerned about the insecurity. So the insecurity is created as a means of diversion in the north. Are you following me? It is created as a means of diverting the attention of the military and the Nigerian populace from being able to focus on the illegal mining of resources. And any part of the north where there is resources, you find that there is insecurity there. Recently, it has started in Kwara because there's a great amount of lithium in Kwara too that they have discovered and they're mining. So they partner with the Chinese because the people that do this illegal mining are the Chinese. They partner with the Chinese to be able to. So the bandits became the security men of Chinese and all those people to protect them. So that while they are mining, they can begin to cause chaos. Because while the people are mining and they are causing chaos, they're kidnapping, they're killing, nobody will be able to focus on what the Chinese are doing and those people illegal mining. Every single day to this moment, I'm telling you, they are mining in those places. And they will take it to an airfield in the bush and fly it out of Nigeria. They are making billions of dollars from it every day. While people are being killed. That is why you now hear that Muslims are saying that they are killing Muslims too. What you have, it is what Buhari created. The APC-led administration created. The banditry they created is what is affecting the North now. Because the people they brought to come and kill Nigeria in 2015 did not succeed because Goodluck relinquished power to them. And now the people have become thugs. They have become tools to be used in the hand of men that are using them to secure their illegal gold mines. And that's why you kill them. That's why you hear that they say they are killing Muslims. Now, the Christian persecution and genocide has been there. So you find that the other part, the Muslim and the Fulani men keep going around killing in all those parts. And the Christians and the churches have been silent for too long. This evil has prevailed in Nigeria because the righteous men have been too quiet. If we're ever going to win against insecurity in Nigeria, Nigeria must put two things Nigeria must do. Number one, Sharia law must be completely abolished in Nigeria. Because Nigeria is not an Islamic state. Why will Nigeria, some part of Nigeria, be practicing Sharia? The law guiding them, constitutional law, that believe that if somebody deserves to die because he speaks against his God. Can an Hausa man insult Jesus and I kill him for insulting Jesus? But somebody believe when you speak against Muhammad, you deserve to die. How do you live in a country with somebody that have that kind of mentality? The military have become complicit. They are compromised. Nigerian military cannot win this war. 20 years from today, I'm telling you, 20 years from today, this thing of insecurity will not end because there are people that are enjoying it, benefiting from it, and reaping from it. If Nigeria wants to win this war, partner with America. Let them come and militate. I mean, if you have seen that in Kanu yesterday, some people were protesting that they don't want America to come. Because they believe what they have been told is that if America is coming to kill Muslims, and the man says he wants to come and kill terrorists, but they are protesting. Anybody that is negotiating, people like Ahmed Gumi, Sheikh Gumi should be locked away. A terrorist sympathizer is a terrorist. A man that believes that you are not supposed to kill a terrorist is himself a terrorist. A man that believes that we should go and negotiate. How do you go and negotiate with terrorists? Because you see, terrorists are not just criminals. They are working with the wrong ideology. A man that believes that killing himself, he has nothing to lose. How do you negotiate with a man that believes that killing himself is going to meet their God in heaven to collect 72 virgins? How do you negotiate with such a person? A man like Shekumi should be locked away. A man like Ali Bababu Shari should be arrested. You want to win against terrorism, you must go brutal. No nation win against terrorism by pampering them. The custom is taking rice, seizing rice from Nigeria and taking it to terrorists in the bush that they need to take care of them because they are human beings. No.
Welcome back. This is Radio Biafra House of Service coming to you through Radio Biafra London. My name is Mazi Jonathan Chinedu from Alu province of Biafra Land. Now we are here live and direct. Today is the 17th day of November 2025. Therefore, our lines are now opened. Our WhatsApp and signal line remains +61 405 142 547. I repeat, +61 405 142 547. I repeat once again, +61 405 142 547. You can call us and give us your view on the issue discussed, please. Our WhatsApp and signal line is active, please. It is +61 405 142 547. You can see, according to the testimony of an eyewitness of this man, I played his clip. It confirms what we have been saying, that the original intention or motive of all these terrorist groups is to eradicate Christianity, to eradicate any other form of religion from Nigeria. When they clear the communities, please, Christian communities, today many Christian communities in the north are no longer there. That is why they turn against what I can call moderate Muslims, that are indigenous Muslims that are not Fulanese. That is how they behave. That is their modus operandi. They'll first of all use you, rally you around, using one sentiment or the other in order to help them for their motive. And you will not know. You will think that, all of you are together. Now, after obtaining their objective, now they return against you. That is how they roll. Caller on signal, please. Can you hear me? Caller on signal. Welcome to the program. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Mazi Jonathan.
There, Mazi.
I hope I'm coming out.
You are, please. You are.
All right, Mazi Jonathan. First of all, I thank our leadership. Also, I thank our Eastern Security Network. I thank IPOB family members all over the world. Also, I thank IPOB media warrior all over the world. We must continue. And let me use this media and this opportunity to tell our media. Tomorrow is a Tuesday. Our Twitter campaign. So let IPOB worldwide, as long as you have a Twitter account, please try to log in and retweet whatever our medias are retweeting, or also tweet whatever you know that is a genocide against Christians in this contraction called Nigeria. Please do the Mazi on your program this night. Mazi just be in his cell. You see Obasanjo, they're supposed to lock Obasanjo up because this which we are talking about, which some part of country are practicing Sharia law. This thing was done by Obasanjo because of power. Obasanjo himself to rule a zoo country, and they give them what they want. And that is why some of the countries are practicing Sharia law. It's agreement. As you see, these Fulani people, they are very wise and smart. That's why they will come to a state and they promise all of them, president and the vice president, even try to stop people to fight each other. They will ask governor, give us a land, give our people a land, and they say to our people, we are going to give you vice president. That's only what they know, to sponsor internal fight against each other. But I thank our leader, Mazi Nnamdi, who established and bring this IPOB on board. Had it been that there's nothing like IPOB by now, Mazi, see all those things that happen at the northern side. Our own, we should have been a worst place. But I thank our leader for keeping IPOB and give us also structure for we to pilot and get our freedom. Mazi, like this testimony this man was giving, Mazi, everything this man said is the fact and the figure, is a reality, is a truth. But look at it, our so-called GOs, our so-called pastors, our so-called reverend and bishop, how many of them are talking about the genocide? Look at it, Nigeria government always try to deny a single killing of Christians in this country. Today's thing, denying this general, this brigadier general that was kidnapped and beheaded. Mazi, I don't know why we are in this country, but I can never blame anybody. Our forefathers tried because they saw this thing ahead. Our internal leader Ojukwu saw this thing ahead. He was trying to get us out of this country. It's also our people was compromised. Our forefathers was compromised. Most of them was bought over by Fulani. But in this our own time, we must prepare them. Then we see Shege. Mazi, instead of we not to restore Biafra, it's better all of us die. And we must do it in this our own time. Mazi, bless you. Let me leave others to talk their own. Because we are not going to leave anything.
Thank you.
We are going to move.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Caller on WhatsApp. Can you hear me? Caller on WhatsApp. Please go on. Go on.
All Biafrans all over the world and lovers of freedom. My name is Mazi. I'm calling from Ghana. Mazi Jonathan, I love this this program. I love it so much. The manipulation of Sokoto Caliphate and Sokoto Caliphate must be dismantled. Mazi Jonathan, this will not be a program of one day. We must be hammering on this because this is the center of the gravity. All the things that have been happening in Nigeria, that Sokoto Caliphate is the center of gravity. And there's no way you can stop terrorism without dismantling Sokoto Caliphate, because that is where everything started. Like our brother that we spoke now, mentioned Obasanjo. You know, nobody talks about how they're because Sokoto Caliphate manipulated Obasanjo to sign the life of Christians in Nigeria to become the president. That is what happened. Because granting the Caliphate Sharia law is signing the life of Christians into the hand of Sokoto Caliphate. That is what made Obasanjo to become the president. That was the agreement, the assignment. But today nobody talks about him. Because Obasanjo must be held accountable. Nigeria is a democratic country, it's a secular country. And he gave a part of the country Sharia law. And Obasanjo knows the meaning of Sharia law. He knows what it means. But because to be a president, Obasanjo must be held accountable. Mazi, the Caliphate are not only manipulating the Hausas and the Muslims. They are manipulating our governors, our political leaders. That is why they can bring military to kill their people. That is why they cannot develop their states. The Caliphate are manipulating them. Like our brother said that the Christian genocide, some religious leaders, they are not speaking up because they are being manipulated. That is the center of the gravity. They are in charge. The only thing that is holding Nigeria, which is Sokoto Caliphate, can never penetrate is IPOB. That is their end point. The only thing that is holding Nigeria, nobody can, apart from IPOB. So we are the only pillar that is holding Nigeria now. That is why they are mad about us. That is why they have with the passion. Mazi, this topic, you will continue to hammer it. It will take us time for it to penetrate because this is where our problem started. That's what Caliphate must dismantle. Mazi Jonathan, thank you very much. I always like to
There was, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
The institution where we learn.
There will.
Continue, my brother.
There
We must get it. All of us. Thank you very much. And may you continue to bless you.
There will, thank you. We must continue. The Sokoto Caliphate must be dismantled. That is it. It's not a mere talk. it will happen. Caller on WhatsApp, please go on. Caller on WhatsApp, can you hear me?
Yeah, Mazi,
Ndewo Mazi, welcome to the program.
and I can hear you loud and clear. Thank you so much. So, Mazi, there was a question you were asking, when you were analyzing the mindset of Nigerians, where you kept asking, why do they keep lying? So when help comes, you're being killed, you're being massacred for decades. People are going to IDP camps. People are leaving their villages. People are dying. People are migrating out of the area. And then when help comes, they just change and say, oh no, they want to come and take our resources. And you asked that question, and when you were asking that question, I was also asking myself that question because I could see your frustration. And me, I was thinking and I was saying, why is it that we are selective in telling the truth and in just being upfront about things? Because if you look at Nigeria, that's how many Nigerians behave. They know when to do the right thing as long as it benefits them and their family. If they're driving, they know they have to wear a seat belt. They know that they have to eat. If they are sick, they know they have to go to the doctor. If they hear that a doctor is not good, they will not want to go to that doctor. But once you leave anything that is personal or involves their relatives, then their moral compass becomes zero. You know, when you talk about things glaring, you see things, people are being massacred, you know, they will be telling lies just because the person is a politician or stands to gain. In many cases, they don't even stand to gain. Sometimes it's just because he's the ethnic group that is in charge, or someone from the ethnic group is the person manning or handling the agency. The way we have been, you know, you always say that if Nigeria lasts for another decade or 2 decades, that the way human beings from there will be behaving. In fact, Mazi, I think we have reached the summit of that. I don't know anything worse than the way Nigerians behave right now. Because the problem with the way Nigerians behave is that you cannot solve anything with those people. Comes down and say, come, I've come to solve your problem. They will turn around and make a decision that will make the problem to, they will even, some group will go and tell God behind, see, I beg, double this our problem, so that, you know, like, who knows, maybe we say if they double the problem, they will get some money or something. And that is why that whole place is a mess. Because if you just deal with the people there, you get frustrated. Now, Mazi, I just wanted us to go back. All the people keep talking about Christian genocide, and they always start saying it started in 2011, 20, whatever. It's a lie. The Christian genocide started when they started killing Igbo people. Millions of people before 1966. That is when they should be going back. They cannot skip that thing. They massacred Igbo people. They were Christians. The pogrom was fueled by that anti-Christian sentiment. If you read the book by Ben Bule, one of the reasons why they killed the Sadwana was Sadwana, when he goes to UK, he will be greeting the soldiers from the north in Hausa and talking to them in Hausa. Why the soldiers from the south, which a good number of them were Igbos, they were astonished. How can this man, who is a top government person representing Nigeria, come here and be addressing the soldiers in Hausa, and he will exclude those young Igbo guys? He will not talk to them. He was a tribalist and a religious extremist. So that was part of the reason why those boys decided to take him out. Another reason why they decided to take him out was because of the way the riots, in the thief riots were handled. One of the coup plotters, Christopher Anuforo, was involved with that thing, and he was very annoyed. They felt that there was injustice, that the rioters, who were the thief people, they were trying to, to get some freedom, some form of freedom from the caliphate. But the Sadwana used his might and his connection in the military to quell it, and they killed a lot of thief people. That was part of the reason why those boys decided that they needed to take, and some of the people who were killed, I don't know if it was Palm or Lajaman, they are complicit in sabotaging that TV uprising. But to show you how crazy Nigerians are, after they killed, there's nothing as supreme as what those boys did. After they toppled the caliphate that has been dominating the Hausa people since 18-something, for decades, century. When these boys did the supreme sacrifice, they turned around. They were happy initially, and then they just needed BBC propaganda. They needed more propaganda that was funded, and all of a sudden they turned around and started massacring innocent people that had nothing to do with it. So, Mazi, the problem in Nigeria is so complicated that anybody you see talking about one Nigeria, the person is a crazy person. Because anybody that has sense, you should be looking for how to escape. Because to even free people from Nigeria, they don't even agree on the type of freedom they want. Some people, their own freedom, they want a freedom of Sharia, to be practicing Sharia. Some people want a freedom to be doing something else. They don't even agree on what freedom is. They don't even agree on what, a good life, normal life, way of life. There is no agreement on anything. The only agreement is on how to be stealing money from the resources of the South and to be plundering our resources. Thank you so much.
Mazi, that is how gullible Nigerians are. Just like what our brother said, the same TV that suffered injustice and the military boys dealt with the situation. It took only little manipulation of BBC. Oh, it's Igbo coup. And the whole thing's turned around. The same TV people that suffered under the caliphate, they forgot. Immediately they forgot. Can you see the type of people you are dealing with? They forgot and they started killing the Igbo people. The same people that wants to save everybody, which they agreed and say, yes, this man, this Sadwana of Sokoto, Ahmad Bello was he was an ethnic and religious bigot. So, but BBC, Britain used BBC, only BBC, small little news, little. Igbo manipulation, Igbo coup. The whole indigenous people, both Christians in North, Middle Belt, Southwest, turned against Igbos. It is the same thing that is happening today. Don't you see that? The same manipulation. Don't you see? Sheikh Gumi is at the forefront. The people that are killing them, they are the same people that come up and start giving out TT. Now about injecting Nigerians with the virus of misinformation and manipulations. That is the Sokoto Caliphate manipulation. Because you know why they are doing it? Because they have done it before and it worked. They did it again and again and it worked. Because they saw the indigenous people in Nigeria as fools. That's why somebody like the Sheikh Gumi can come and launder the image of those that are killing you Nigerians, and you take it, you say, it's okay, no worry. It's better we live on and they kill us, no problem, than allowing Trump to come and save us. Fools everywhere. Caller on WhatsApp, please. Can you hear me? Go on. Caller on WhatsApp.
Good evening, Mazi.
There, Mazi. Welcome to the program.
Yes, I am a first-time caller. I'm calling you from Ghana.
There, Mazi. There, today people call from Ghana many places. Yeah, very good. Go on, Mazi.
Yes, I want us to rise up in Ghana because I'm not seeing like our people are not doing anything about it. Actually, me, I'm not a family member, but I've been wishing all my life at least to be an IPOB.
We have a strong family in Ghana, please. We have it.
Okay, I just think maybe I need to be connected or something. But
after you send me, you send me message, please, because I cannot register your number, cannot recognize your number. Send me message and introduce yourself.
Okay, I will do just that.
There.
I also want to touch on the matter that the Sultan of Sokoto must be dismantled. Yes, because there is a very big point in that talk. Because even Tinubu, he cannot make decisions without meeting that man. All of these terrorists, they must go there and talk with that man before. So Biafrans must look into that matter. Meaning that's if not only Biafrans, Nigerians at large must look into that matter in order to see that it is the main source of their problem. So removing the seat means this might because on our actual so Mazi, I don't have much to say. I just want people to continue. We are watching. We love what you are doing. Thank you very much.
There, thank you, and we must continue. It is something they negotiated with Britain. It is a byproduct of their negotiation. The caliphate. That is why they were given permanent majority in the senatorial seat right from beginning 1960. Britain gave them 53% permanently. in the legislature, that is the Senate House. And that is why they are always proud. That is it. So this is the situation of Nigeria. So that caliphate, we need to re-examine and it must be dismantled, because it is a seat of colonization of every indigenous population. Caller on signal, please go on. Can you hear me? Caller on signal, are you there, Mazi Oba?
Yes, Professor Jonas.
There were
Good
Mazi.
evening from my side,
There were.
and good evening to Biafrans. My name remains Mazi Celestine Oba from the blessed land of Biafra, Kwaibon precisely. Professor Jonas, in fact, I don't know. I just like the right adjective to describe the supposed indigenous Nigerians, because the people who are committing this genocide against the Christian population in the so-called Nigerians are foreigners. Because Funanis are not indigenous to Nigeria. I cannot really understand why the supposed indigenous Nigerians cannot galvanize themselves and fight against these Fulanis who are not indigenous to Nigeria, but they are here to destroy every supposed indigenous Nigeria population. It beats my imagination, and I cannot really fathom out this level of docility and imbecility in the life of the supposed Nigeria indigenous populations, especially the Christian faith. We must understand that this genocide and the killings of Nigerian Christians and the Nigerian Judeo-Christians are supported by the Sokoto Caliphate as the umbrella body of the Islamic body in Nigeria. Because if the Caliphate asks them stop, Professor Jolas, as long as it is under the umbrella of Islam, they will not do otherwise. They will do Rankadede and they adhere to that instruction. But because he sanctioned it, then they cannot stop. And their aim is to wipe out the Judeo-Christians and the Christian communities in the supposed Nigerian state. And that is why we will continue to amplify these voices for the world to come to the rescue of the deprived and the Nigerian Christian population, because they are helpless, because the instrumentality of security in the state has been hijacked by the Funani hegemony. So, and that is why it is important that we continue in this direction to call on the world to look into that direction and salvage Nigerian population for humanity's sake, because every human being are created by God, and there is no life that is more superior to the other. Nigerian Christian population and Judeo-Christian deserve to live in the God-given land where they find themselves. Professor Jonah, having said this, I read in Zoo Media today that Tinubu the Escobar warned Nigerian judges never to deliver judgment on the basis of money they received. Therefore, I want to challenge President Tinubu, because if it is not a hypocritical statement, then it must start with Justice James Scholar Weneomotosho. Because Nigeria law said that you cannot try a suspect or defendant under a repair law. Then Tinubu must use this one as the first instance if he is serious about this. He must do that as a matter of fact. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu committed no crime to anybody. As far as we are concerned, as far as the world knows, he remained a prisoner of conscience and a victim of state-sponsored terrorism, who was adopted, kidnapped, and tortured for 8 days, an extraordinary rendition to Nigeria against all protocols and the conventions, all treaties that Nigeria signed. Nigeria broke all of them and even went further to break Kenya border and immigration law. Therefore, there is no reason anybody should try subject Mazi Nnamdi Kanu on that trial, because by reason of extraordinary rendition, he created legal barrier that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu cannot put to trial by any court. And that was exactly what the appeal court of 13th October 2020 ruled, discharged and acquitted. So Tinubu must show seriousness on his warning to sue judges never to take money to deliver justice. Let me on it here, Professor Jonas. Thank you so much. Continue the good work. Almost a Biafra.
There were almost a Biafra. Thank you very much. Caller on WhatsApp, I think you're gonna be the last caller. Caller on WhatsApp, can you hear me, please? Mazi Chuku.
Yes, I can hear you, Jonathan.
There were Mazi. There were.
Thank you very much. My name is Chukwu Emmanuel, and I'm speaking from our location. Thank you once again, Jonathan, as always. I greet our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who set up this platform to expose so many things. I greet him once again. I want to start from that, and Buala, you play the clip now. And I weep for anybody who have not understand. No. When you hear the name, you think that he's a human being, he's a Christian. But he's denying the fact that Christians are killing since 1947 till date in Nigeria. There was a clip that was playing on this radio about killing Christians. Only God knows how many years. It's playing on this radio. If you are listening to Radio Biafra. One thing is this. These people, you say they are bishop in Nigeria, that are the GO in Nigeria. If you know the thing they are inside, you will not call them a God. You will know that are special people working with Islamization in Nigeria. Because when you listen to some of them denying the fact of what is happening in Nigeria, then you understand that they are among some of them who claim to be Muslim. When they see that there's money in the Christianity, then they turn off, they say they have repent. Today they have mega churches like Adiboye them, Kumuyi them, all of them in Yoruba land. But what baffles me is this. For how long these people we call Igbo people will have sense of reasoning? Because when you have sense of reasoning, that makes you to be a human being. Do you know that if Igbo people are in the position of Yorubas in religious churches today, that what I mean is this: if Igbo people have church, which Yoruba is almost 80% inside, like what is going on in Nigeria, the Yorubas will tell their people to withdraw their people from Igbo church, and their people will listen, and then we will do it. But tell this to an idiot who said that Igbo people will have today, as many as possible, for him to remain a slave. Look at all the houses Igbo have built in Lagos. Chinedu and Sanwo-Olu and Lagos government are destroying all these houses from one corner to another. And all these people who are Igbo people are going to church of Yorubas, donating money. They are using the money to buy different private jets, enjoying themselves. And these people cannot speak to Sanwo-Olu or Chinedu. Why are you destroying these people's property? Because property was built with approval of government from foundation to the end. Anybody telling you that this house was built without approval of government is telling you lies. The truth is that this property was built, approved by Lagos government. Then why are you destroying their property? None of these evil people who claim to be a man of God can speak like that. Instead, all of them, they align themselves together with the Yoruba politicians. My question is very simple. If you see what is going on in Yoruba now, the Yorubas don't know what the Fulani is all about. They think that they are working hand in hand with the Fulanis. They don't know that the Fulanis will use them now. After maybe 50 years or above or 100 years, if they, God forbid, if they use Yoruba to destroy other races in Nigeria, I tell you, after the Yoruba in the field will suffer the same thing like what is happening in the outside race now. Now the Fulani have succeeded, making sure that the outside people remain slaves because they know how to operate on the top. You see this thing Wike are doing today. You see this thing Asari Dokobo are doing today. You see this thing Dave Lomaya. And all these useless politicians and the traditional rulers are doing today in the East. If careful not taken, a time will come, you see a Fulani governor in the East. You will see a Fulani senator in the East. As time goes, gradually, they will take position. And any group that remain that time will remain slaves, like Hausas in the north. The Fulani know how to achieve their goals. That is why Radio Biafra is here to explain. But surprise, some idiots who say are senators, They are House of Representatives. They are happy to destroy their people. Thinking they are safe, not knowing that after using them, the Fulani will kill all of them without mercy. Watch out and see. But I don't think that as far as IPOB is concerned, as far as our people will have sense, is to understand that the best thing they will do now they are alive is to run around IPOB to make sure IPOB all the whole support. Because IPOB remain the only hope of Igbo people as a race. Nnamdi Kanu came to save the Yorubas, the genuine Yorubas, the genuine Igbo people, the genuine Hausa people. But surprise, surprise, the Yorubas, instead for them to fight to liberate their people from bondage in the name of Nigeria, they are fighting Igbo left and right. And they have so many slaves who are going to social media
they have brought out to every store in the everything to the level of mediocrity, both the education, health, government, judiciary, their power sector, business, everything had to go down to the level of the Almajiri. And that's where we are today. But I thank Chukwukika Abiyama that IPOB and Onyendu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu stayed put to today, that the world have come to realize what is happening in Nigeria. And believe me, Mazi Jonathan, it's not going to be the same again for Nigeria going forward. When all these things that are happening to now, these eyes of the world that has beamed on them, by the time it is finished, it will never be the same with that contraption. And people like me is very glad about it. This reign of terror, reign of gagging, nobody should come and talk about what is happening to themselves. Anything can happen. People will die. You come and kill people, anybody, anywhere. And nobody cares to know. Thank God the word have now come in. The Pope that refused to speak all these years have not spoken. I'm glad the American government, whatever they do, make them whatever they like, let them do. The American government and the world, consensus world, know the truth about what's happening in Nigeria. And that's why it doesn't matter what their president says. It doesn't matter what Daniel Bwala says. It doesn't matter what any of them says. Those that know, which is in the core of American government, they know the truth. And we are glad. And they are calling it as a team. Do you know that this guy that you played his tape shortly before you opened the line, that young pastor that spoke all about that, do you know Nigerian government threatened him and threatened everyone around him to tell him to delete the tape? And he deleted it. But what the young man didn't know is that this is the internet time, internet world. When you put anything out, it's out. He deleted it from his own page, but it's out. And here you are today playing it. How evil can a society be? When people come to speak about what is happening to them, you threaten them, threaten everyone around. Do you know even the so-called big pastors that guy knows and knows him? We're all threatening him, telling him to delete that. He has to come out to say he deleted because he respected his men of God, his papas in God or in church or whatever. Do you understand that? Which society lives like that? But it's only going to get worse for the zoo, whether they like it or not. Because more and more of the world around are beginning to key in. Today, where I live, yesterday there was a gathering of Christians. For the first time, they gathered and were protesting against the killings in Nigeria. But most of these countries, including where I live, where IPOB had done their mega rallies on major streets of the various countries. There are various media in those countries close their eyes to it, including BBC. And today, you know what is happening with Antuko Ikabiama. People might say, oh, those media did not see IPOB those days. But the work IPOB and Oyendu Mazina and the Kanu have done over 10 years, we did not know the word, we were taking note. Consistency. And I thank Biafrans. Mazi Jonathan, I thank you so much. I thank the DOS. I thank every Biafran, hardcore, and those that believe in freedom, that have stayed put. I keep telling you, I keep saying it on this program and everywhere I go, that all these Westerners, all these people, particularly Caucasians, used to speak all these years, that the current spirit of Biafra came out to speak, as he got Nigeria out to speak and deal with Biafra, and that Biafra must be discussed. What happened to us must be discussed. And here we are now today. And we thank you, Kike. So that's what I want tonight. Those you must and everybody. They will.
There, Mazi. Thank you very much. And this is where I'm going to switch off the phones because I'm going to close, please. Biafrans and lovers of freedom. What we are engaging is very huge. It is very huge. This is the first time since after the war that Biafrans have really engaged in something very huge that connects everybody, every Biafran all around the world. Masop came, it was only in Nigeria. It never had the publicity because of lack of internet age or social media at that time. Today, We have all these facilities and we must make use of them to our advantage. As one of our brothers said, tomorrow is Twitter Tuesday. Please do not forget Twitter Tuesday. Therefore, try to tweet or follow and retweet. Follow those Mazi Sanworu, Emeka Gift. Even I am on Twitter, Jonas Raphael, as you may know. Many of us, please, many of us, if you don't know how to tweet, compose tweet by yourself, please try to follow any IPOB in order to retweet, because we are on an IT age and we know that carry last. This Christian genocide is real. They are trying to downgrade it, trying to bribe. Nigeria has paid huge sums of money for PR, public relations, high profile world of public relations, and media. And they are lobbying in order to downgrade this Christian genocide. These are some of the manipulations of the caliphate, the Sokoto caliphate. They spend money where they need to. They have been manipulating, and that is why they are on top. Because, you know, why is it that it is only the Fulani that is on top? They are the people that conquered the house arrest, the north. Many parts of the north coming down to the middle belt, they were not able to conquer the TV. Even the northeast, where you see Boko Haram today, we are not able to conquer the Shehu or Borno, other side. So today they are using Boko Haram in order to conquer the Kanuri people. Because when you see Boko Haram is made up of mostly even Kanuri people. They come, they use your people, brainwash them in order to conquer them. For them, they are fighting for Islam, but they are under the control of the Sokoto Caliphate. They want to conquer the Borno, the Kanuri at all costs. That is what they are doing. So, we will never give up. Biafra must come. And this education must continue, be part of it. Because this is the time of enlightenment. The era of Renaissance, African Renaissance is here. The Europeans had their own. The Arabs had their own in mid-19th century. And today it is the African Renaissance. And I tell you, when you study countries that developed countries that are doing well today, at time in their life they have enlightenment period, they have mental revolution period, the era of Renaissance. That is why I continue urging us, please stop using religion in order to demonize enlightenment, what you call Illuminati. You know, it is something, it is not something you need to demonize because of your religious belief. These are wise people. You need to, you know, wisdom is about knowing secrets that others don't know. A scientist is a scientist in his field because he researched and knows some secrets which ordinary people don't know. And that is why he come out to tell you about molecular science, about molecules. You don't even know what molecules are, but he will tell you what oxygen is composed of. This and that. You know, for a normal, ordinary human being, it sounds like, you know, Yiddish to your ear. But because he knows it, It's his field. He is wise in that case. That is what Illuminati is all about, being illuminated. Yeah, so when you are enlightened, there are secrets you know, others don't know it. There is this man that met Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, I think head of, I think one of the, this, you know, is it NANS, National Association of Nigerian Students or something like that, that used to now, you know, onye ndu Binayaka, I think he's an Hausa man. Okay, the onye ndu Binayaka, yeah, now associate another language, a good language, Chegaria, you know. He said he hated Mazi Nnamdi Kanu before because of ignorance, but when he met Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in DSS dungeon, Onyendu baptized him with enlightenment, and now he understood. The man said there are things, you know, if you, there are things you know about Nigeria. The more you understand things about Nigeria, the more you become mad, become annoyed. Do you see that? The more you understand many things about Nigeria, the more you become mad, because you become annoyed, more angry. That is it. So, wisdom, getting enlightenment. That's why you see an enlightened fellow is always quiet. Because the way you are seeing things is not the way he's seeing things. Some information can make you even obsolete. I am telling you honestly. You better don't know it. That is why some people, there are some things they cannot carry in their head. They will use, you know, when they carry it, or now they push it. Before you know it, you'll call another thing. But here we are. We must continue what we are doing. You know, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu say, when you say that people that are talking against IPOB again, I tell them, go and ask Nigerian government. Then they know what IPOB is up to and what IPOB is doing. But you as an individual, because of your, you know, myopic hatred and lack of understanding and ignorance, you don't know. That is why you hate IPOB. But IPOB is fighting for the freedom of everybody, not only for the freedom of Biafrans, but for the freedom of everybody, all the indigenous population. And that is why the Sokoto Caliphate must be dismantled. Thank you for listening. Biafra remains our ideology. Biafra remains our religion. Biafra remains everything we have. And we must continue to making sure that this movement will continue to be boosted. Thank you for listening. From me.
Difficulty. The rise of militant groups in the Sahel region, often with external backing, creates an environment of instability and fear. These groups, exploiting discontent and socio-economic disparities, pose a significant threat to Traore's government. His efforts to address extremism's root causes through development and inclusive governance face resistance, as external actors benefit from the chaos and use it as a pretext for intervention. Traore's safety is a constant concern. His security team must stay vigilant against assassination attempts and coordinated attacks. Intelligence reports have uncovered numerous plots against him, orchestrated by a mix of local and foreign actors. The complexity of these plots underscores the high stakes involved and the determination of his enemies. Despite these challenges, Traoré draws strength from the unwavering support of the Burkinabe people. His grassroots connections and genuine concern for their welfare have built a strong base of support that has so far resisted his adversaries' efforts. The people's belief in his vision acts as both his shield and his sword, allowing him to move forward despite the dangers. Traoré's ability to communicate his vision and rally the masses has been crucial to his resilience. His speeches, filled with messages of hope, resilience, and self-determination, deeply resonate with a population long yearning for change. This connection with the people makes it difficult for his enemies to turn public opinion against him, despite their best efforts. Moreover, Traoré has strategically built alliances with other African leaders who share his vision. These alliances provide mutual support and create a network of solidarity that collectively resists external pressures. By promoting a Pan-African approach, Traoré not only strengthens his position, but also contributes to a broader movement to redefine Africa's place in the world. In the grand story of African liberation, Ibrahim Traoré's tale is still being written. His life, marked by courage and conviction, stands as a symbol of hope for those who dream of a future where Africa is free from external control. Yet, it also serves as a reminder of the great risks faced by those who pursue such a future. But has something like this ever happened before to African leaders? Historically, African leaders who dared to assert true independence and self-determination have faced similar perils. Patrice Lumumba of Congo, Thomas Sankara of Burkina Faso, and Muammar Gaddafi of Libya. All were leaders whose lives were violently cut short as they pushed against the currents of neo-colonial control. Their stories serve as stark reminders of the dangers Ibrahim Traoré faces as he walks a path fraught with peril. Patrice Lumumba, the first Prime Minister of the Democratic Republic of Congo, is one of the most notable examples. Lumumba's vision for a united, independent Congo free from the exploitative grip of foreign powers made him a significant threat to the established order. His tenure was marked by efforts to gain full control over the country's rich natural resources, which had long been plundered by colonial and corporate interests. Lumumba's refusal to align with Western powers during the Cold War and his appeal to the Soviet Union for assistance sealed his fate. In 1961, Lumumba was arrested, tortured, and ultimately assassinated with the involvement of both Belgian authorities and the CIA. His death symbolized the extreme measures that would be taken to prevent African nations from slipping out of Western control. Thomas Sankara, often called Africa's Che Guevara, is another tragic figure in the history of African liberation. As the president of Burkina Faso, Sankara implemented sweeping reforms aimed at reducing poverty, fighting corruption, and promoting gender equality. His policies included land redistribution, nationalizing key industries, and rejecting foreign aid, which he saw as a form of neo-colonialism. Sankara's vision of self-sufficiency and his bold rhetoric against Western imperialism made him a target. In 1987, he was assassinated in a coup d'etat orchestrated by his close ally Blaise Compaoré, who had the backing of foreign interests opposed to Sankara's radical changes. Sankara's assassination underscored the dangers faced by leaders who challenge international norms and local power structures. Muammar Gaddafi of Libya presents a more complex narrative. Gaddafi came to power in 1969 through a military coup that ousted the Western-aligned monarchy. Over the years, he pursued a vision of Pan-Africanism and sought to reduce Western influence in Africa. Gaddafi used Libya's oil wealth to fund various African liberation movements and proposed ambitious projects aimed at unifying the continent. However, his regime also became increasingly autocratic, leading to significant internal opposition. In 2011, amid the Arab Spring, a NATO-led intervention, purportedly to protect civilians, resulted in Gaddafi's overthrow and brutal killing. The Western powers' involvement in Gaddafi's demise highlighted the geopolitical stakes in Africa and the lengths to which external forces would go to protect their interests. These historical precedents show a clear pattern. African leaders who pursue genuine independence and challenge the global status quo often meet violent ends. Ibrahim Traoré's situation bears eerie similarities to these past leaders. His efforts to nationalize industries, reduce foreign dependency, and foster regional unity echo the policies that led to the demise of Lumumba, Sankara, and Gaddafi. This historical context amplifies the risks Traoré faces and underscores the precarious nature of his position. Now the question is, how far the external forces can go to attack Traoré? The most recent attempt on Ibrahim Traoré's life was a stark reminder of the volatile situation he faced as the leader of Burkina Faso. Gunfire erupted near the presidential residence, sending shockwaves through the capital, Ouagadougou. This brazen attack not only caused immediate alarm, but also ignited public protests, with Traoré's supporters pouring into the streets to show their unwavering support for his government. These incidents highlight the urgent need for robust security measures to protect Traoré and stabilize his administration. The night of the attack was tense. As shots rang out near the presidential residence, it became clear that this was not just a random act of violence, but a targeted attempt on Traoré's life. Security forces quickly responded, engaging the assailants in a firefight that lasted several minutes. The attackers managed to escape, leaving behind a scene of chaos and fear. This attack was the latest in a series of attempts to destabilize Traore's government and eliminate him as a political threat. The immediate aftermath saw a surge of support for Traore. Thousands of Burkinabe citizens took to the streets of Ouagadougou, chanting slogans and waving flags in solidarity with their president. The spontaneous gathering was a powerful testament to the deep connection Traore has with his people. Many of the protesters vowed to defend his vision for a new Burkina Faso, free from the shackles of corruption and foreign exploitation. This public outpouring of support was both a show of unity and a warning to those who seek to harm Traore that the people stand firmly behind their leader. These public demonstrations underscore the immediate dangers Traore faces. The assassination attempt was not an isolated incident, but part of a broader pattern of threats that have dogged his presidency from the start. Each attack serves as a reminder of the precarious nature of his position and the powerful forces arrayed against him. The urgency of the situation calls for enhanced security measures to protect not only Traore, but also the stability of Burkina Faso as a whole. Traore's leadership has been characterized by a series of bold reforms aimed at transforming Burkina Faso into a self-sufficient and prosperous nation. However, these reforms have also made him many enemies. By challenging the entrenched interests of foreign corporations and local elites, Traore has put himself in the crosshairs of those who stand to lose from his policies. The recent attack is a stark reminder that these adversaries are willing to go to great lengths to stop him. The need for robust security measures cannot be overstated. So, what is Ibrahim Traore doing to make himself protected? In response to these escalating threats, Ibrahim Traore has adopted a series of security measures, drawing inspiration from Russian methods known for their effectiveness in high-risk environments. His approach is multifaceted, combining increased personal security, advanced surveillance, and enhanced military capabilities to ensure his protection and stabilize his administration. These steps are crucial for maintaining his leadership and safeguarding Burkina Faso's sovereignty.
But turn around and go to Namibia. I was shocked. Namibians pay about $170 to get a visa to go to the United States, but Americans, when they go to Namibia, nothing, zero, not a penny. Just come. Now, guys, let's have a serious conversation here. Who is stupid? Whose problem is it? We are the problem. What is leadership doing? Leadership is doing nothing. Leadership is voting on sheer stupidity. Stupidity that is causing us havoc. The same people who are abusing us, taking advantage of us, exploiting us, they are laughing at us because we are jokers. What are we doing in our parliaments? And that is why you see what's happening in Burkina Faso, what's happening in Niger, what's happening in Mali. The youth are saying, now we know. Now our eyes are open. Now we know who the real problem is. Yes, we know the enemy as the former colonizers. We know the enemy as the multinationals who are in our countries, siphoning as much as they can. Yes, we know the NGOs are nothing but wolf in sheep's clothing. Yes, we know some of the embassies are no good. They are there to make sure that the instability in our countries continue. We know all that. However, we also know that our leaders could stop it. So yes, it is that the youth are rising. The youth are saying, you leaders, if you do not do the right thing, we will replace you. So we need more Traores in Africa. What's happening in Burkina Faso must be supported. What's happening in Niger must be supported. What's happening in Mali must be supported. The youth of Africa are sick and tired of being sick and tired. The issues of the root must be addressed. World Bank must stop giving us frivolous loans. World Bank must treat Africa fairly. Ours is a simple ask. We are simply saying to the world, we demand Africa that can be treated fairly, an Africa that can be treated as equals on the world stage, an Africa Africa that is free of racism, bigotry, and hate. Our ask is a simple one. Our position is of stating the facts, stating the truth, constants that do not change. We're simply asking that the world does unto us what they would want done unto them. Anybody that has an issue that Africa has taken is somebody who is under earth. We want a peaceful world. We want a world that is just. And that is all we're asking. That is all our children are asking. Our children are saying we're tired of watching our uranium power 2/3 of France while they call us a dark continent. Our children are saying we're sick and tired of seeing our mineral wealth fund Western education while we don't have quality education in Africa. Our children are saying we're sick and tired of seeing our natural resources fund healthcare in the Western world while we don't have access to that Western world. So it is the revolution that has been proclaimed, the revolution the likes of Kwame Nkrumah and others had hoped for. While it may have taken us years to get where we are, the unfinished business that our Pan-African fathers started back in 1963 must be completed, and our youth in Africa are acutely aware of that. The leadership that is not awakening, the leadership that doesn't understand that imperialism no longer has room in Africa, neocolonialism no longer has room in Africa, colonization no longer has room in Africa, exploitation of Africa can no longer continue. A leader who doesn't understand that is a leader whose days are numbered. The African youth are not taking it anymore. The African youth are awakened. Their eyes are open. And they're saying, you either stand up and defend what belongs to us, or we will replace you. Plain and simple. The unfinished business that our Pan-African fathers, the unfinished business that Kwame Nkrumah and many others started, it must be completed. It must be finished. You and I, we have a responsibility. You make us accountable as your elders. Make your leadership accountable. If your leadership is not accountable, replace them. I thank you. As I was getting ready for today's lecture, I came across a quotation from the man we are honoring today, His Excellency Kwame Nkrumah. He said, a state in the grip of neo-colonialism is not master of its own destiny. It is this factor which makes neo-colonialism such a serious threat to world peace. Following him, there was Marcus Garvey prior to him. He said, a people without the knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots. Jomo Kenyatta also reminded us that when the missionaries arrived in Africa, the Africans had the land and the missionaries had the Bible. They taught us how to pray with our eyes closed. When we opened our eyes, they had the land and we had the Bible. Finally, Patrice Lumumba said, the day will come when history will speak. Africa will write its own history. It will be a history of glory and dignity. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment.
Come on, we are live. Let's go.
It was 3:10 a.m. as I was fast asleep in my bed in Tennessee when my phone rang. On the other end, there was a woman by the name of Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma. She was the then chairman of the African Union. She proceeded to inform me that the then ambassador to the United States, the African Union ambassador to the United States, had just turned in her resignation and that she was going to be running for president of her country. A wonderful thing indeed.
This
What was surprising, however, was that she wanted me to be the next African Union ambassador to the United States. Keep in mind, I am 1,000% scientist with zero experience or knowledge of diplomacy or even politics. I left Zimbabwe as a teenager to go to the university in the United States, had a degree in general chemistry, a master's in organic chemistry, went on straight to medical school, did a residency in general surgery and another one in family medicine, and went on straight to practice medicine for 25 years. Nothing to do with diplomacy in any way, shape, or form. So to my surprise, I said, Madam Chair, why on earth would you want somebody like myself to go to Washington, D.C. and be an ambassador? She said, well, look at me. I'm a pediatrician. I said, but you went to South Africa. You took positions that took you through the ranks of where you are now. I have no experience, and you just want to throw me into the wolves. She said, no, we're tired of getting our rear ends kicked, and we need somebody who understands the Americans. I said, I do understand the you think so? She said, yes, you do. It took me 6 months of back and forth with her until finally I said, you know what? The joke is on you. I'm going to go to Washington. I'm going to have fun. I had not taken sabbatical since coming to the United States. I'm going to drink tea and be wined and dined. And after 6 months, I'm going to look at her and say, Madam, I tried, but I couldn't do it. So that was the plan. I actually did not look for an apartment. I stayed in a hotel for 5 months. I would go into the meetings and I would sit and I would be laughing at myself to say, what on earth are you doing in Washington, D.C., pretending to be a diplomat? What I ended up doing is sitting in the meeting rooms, and as a medical doctor, naturally, I'm making diagnosis. Oh, you got a goiter, I need to see you. Oh, you got bipolar, I got a pill for you. I'm making diagnosis of the congressmen and other politicians and ambassadors that were in the room because I did not think I could contribute to anything that was really going on. But from time to time, a comment would be made that would make me wake up and say, did I just hear that? Was that not an insult to us? Did that individual actually just abuse us? And I'm in the room with seasoned ambassadors. Ambassadors with years of experience. I'm waiting for one of them to say something. To my surprise, nothing was said. So the first month, I'm the new kid on the block. I'm just a medical doctor here. I just don't know what's going on here. I'm watching and I'm listening. And slowly I begin to realize there was something wrong going on. Why is it that we are not speaking up as ambassadors? We are here to represent 1.4 billion people who need our voices. Why are we mute? Well, you know, having been born and raised in Zimbabwe during apartheid, we fought. I was a young teenager when I saw many of my colleagues leave and join the revolution, and many died. So when it comes to fighting, I was prepared. I got to where I got so sick and tired of attending these meetings because I was sick and tired of the abuse. I attended meetings on the African continent and the abuse continued, and the mutinous from us also continued until one day I said, enough is enough. I'm an African woman and I have been given a platform and I have a mandate. I shall exercise my mandate. You see, as a medical doctor, every day you're faced with people that come to you. Sometimes patients understand what's wrong with them. Sometimes they don't. We have a responsibility to help people figure out what's going on with them, organize their lives, make a diagnosis, give it a name, and help them deal with it. And in my stay in Washington, D.C., early on, I made a diagnosis that which was ailing was our ignorance and understanding of what was really going on, our fear of those who don't look like us, and the fact that we have been lied to, we have been miseducated, we have been misinformed. That had to change. So it is, I sought out to execute my mandate, which included, in addition to engaging the US government, it also included mobilizing the African diaspora to participate in the development of Africa. How could the diaspora participate in the development of Africa if they are ignorant about what is happening in Africa? So I started speaking to them. I summarized it in a very simple matter, that we have a responsibility to finish the unfinished business that was started by our Pan-African fathers back in 1963 when they met in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Sadly, when our ancestors, our Pan-African fathers went to Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, they were divided. We had the Casablanca group, which was led by Kwame Nkrumah. It was Ghana, Guinea, Mali, Egypt, Algeria, Morocco, and Tunisia. They were the Casablanca group that said Africa for the Africans and African Union now. They wanted change. They understood the importance of unity. They knew for Africa to move forward, Africa must speak with one voice. They demanded an Africa with one customs union, an Africa with one central bank, an Africa with one military, an Africa that...
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, great Biafrans and lovers of freedom. This is Radio Biafra House of Service coming to you through the auspices of Radio Biafra London. My name remains Mazi Jonathan Chinedu from Alo province of Biafra London. We are here live and direct. Today is the 3rd day of September 2024. Therefore, I welcome each and every one of you to welcome your friends and well-wishers onto this revolutionary radio. This is Radio Biafra London in defense of freedom. This is our rallying point where it all started. Therefore, we must draw nearer to our listening devices in order to continue receiving the message of liberation, the message of total liberation, self-determination, the voice of the voiceless. Therefore, you can tune in parts of Biafra land in our FM 102.1 in some parts of Biafra land. And other places are coming up. Therefore, we are also on satellite, free-to-air satellite. We are in our homepage, ipob.org. ipob.org. You can enter the website and click on Radio Biafra London live broadcast. Moreover, you can donate through our PayPal. The section of PayPal is there. You can donate. Because what we are doing, it involves money. So, it is our collective stake. I've been saying this. This revolution, because the restoration of Biafra is a revolution. It's not ordinary independence or flag independence. No. This is a revolution because we want to take back what belongs to us. We are in Nigeria in a place that has killed us, that has subdued us. Britain tricked us into being inside a country. They formed a country through backyard and tricked us into what is killing us today. Are you hearing me? They tricked us into, relinquishing ourselves, relinquishing our natural selves to their artificial creation. That is it. Therefore, this time around, it is enough is enough. Enough is enough. We must take back what belongs to us. We must make sure that the road being gone, or the road being passed through by others, even including America, that we must pass through it. And what is that road? The awakening. That is it. We are sick and tired of running, trying to jackpot, running to places where jobs, factories, jobs are created, and we are contented with that we are working in other countries that have factories. And what made them create all those factories? What facilitates them? The things, the natural resources, the money being looted from our country. Is it not the wisest thing to do, instead of being lured to go and work outside? We create all those jobs in our land. And how can we do it? In Nigeria, it is impossible, because we have no same value system. We have no common value system. That is what people do not understand. You see people always blaming, oh, it's the leaders, the Nigerian leaders. If they do this, if they can get a lead, it's impossible. In a place where you have people with no common value system, organization is impossible. It's impossible. There must be problems. Britain, they created Nigeria on a tripod, which is abnormal. A country should never be created on a tripod. You ask Britain, those that are telling you, you ask them, what is Britain, on how many stands is Britain created? That's it. Is it not a reasonable question to fire back to them? Why do you have to create Nigeria on a tripod? Whereas in your own country, your country is created naturally on its natural stand. On its natural stand. And natural stand does not have tripod. Instead, they have 360 degrees wall. No leakage. If there is any pothole, it could be managed and fixed without shaking the whole structure. But in the case of Nigeria, they created it on a tripod, so that once they break one leg, one of the tripods, everything will collapse. That is not a country. It's a business center. I was just playing the clip for you to understand what we are in. We are in a serious fight, very tedious fight. Like the young man in Burkina Faso. You heard what he's going through. Every few days you have a military coup against him. People that wants to assassinate him. It is not, these are people that are acting, many of them by ignorance, others by greed, or hired by foreign agents, foreigners, France and the West. Because our misery, the misery of Africans is what makes America, the West, very rich. Are you hearing me? They load us, they load Africans with debts. Don't you hear the last time Tinubu made statement? He made a presidential speech. He said that he met upon entering into power. Nigeria, the past regime was using
97% of their total national revenue to service debt. Where do you see this kind of thing? Servicing of debt takes 97% of the total Nigerian revenue per year, every year. They are servicing debt. And he boasted that he has reduced it to, I think, 68%. How can a country using 68% of their total revenue servicing debts succeed as a country? You know, Nigerians are highly ignorant, sentimental Igbo haters. That is why they don't pay attention to anything governance. Because they are sentimental against Igbos. So anything, even if they are being slaughtered, even if anything can go, no problem. As long as they continue with the status quo being left to them by Britain, because Britain is #1 hater of Igbos. For your information, they use the Igbos in order to amalgamate Nigeria. That is historical. It's a historical fact. You cannot deny it. They saw the Igbos as very smart, but their smartness goes without wisdom. I am telling you. Now Britain started using them. Why don't you ask yourself, why was many of our past prominent Igbo politicians born in the north? Have you asked yourself all those questions? Azikiwe was born in 1906 in Zungeru. Even our Eternal General, Ojukwu, was born in the north. Kaduna Zogo, when he was Kaduna, he said he is only Igbo by name. He's born in the north. Many of them are born in the north. Don't you ask yourself why? Because Britain took their parents at the early time, the early 19th century. When Frederick Lugard came into there, now he started scavenging. He saw a very smart race in Igbo people. They know it even right from transatlantic slavery. So they started, and these are our people, Igbos. We are people that can learn fast. Our people, ask all the people. They will tell you, our grandfathers, they'll tell you. Our people can learn very, very fast. So Britain knows that. They remarked us. Something that Onyofe man can learn in 2 years, Igbo man can learn it under 1 month. He mastered it even.
Nnamdi Kanu, ọgaranya onye ndu ndị Igbo, ọrụ na dịka anyị bụ oge na-asụ. one family.